Hello and welcome into everybody tuning in on the YouTube live stream. How we doing today? We have a shit ton of debates queued up with different Trump supporters from around America. In fact, we already have that first Trump supporter on the line, Mr. John down here. John, why don't you get and take it away and tell us why you support President Donald Trump, a train wreck of a president?
Donald Trump is a peacemaker.
Oh, I'm sorry. I think that you're like lowering your voice. How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you?
I just turned 19.
What year were you born in?
2005,
What month?
August.
Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Can I go ahead?
Yeah.
Alright, so I just said Donald Trump is a peacemaker. Yeah, like, prove me wrong.
Wait, is August passed already? No, yeah, it hasn't. If he would have turned
Maybe.
he would have turned 19 in August of last year. It's just like the deepening of the voice for me.
I'm sick. Trust me.
Okay, I'll 2000
Trust
if
me,
I
I'm
was 20.
sick.
No, he'd be turning 20 in this August. He just turned 19.
I said 2005, August.
So
22nd.
how
Yeah.
long ago did you turn 19?
August 22nd.
Okay, that was like 9 months ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chad,
Are we gonna...
Yeah. Why do you think he's a peacemaker?
Cause he's stopping wars here and there, you know.
Which ones?
Israel and Palestine, you know. He's
So he okay, Rawhani consumer. Thank you for the galaxies. So
Also
first and foremost,
economy went up,
he hasn't stopped
15%.
anything. He actually delayed a ceasefire agreement between the two countries. Which, by the way, when Israel then violated that ceasefire and started bombing Palestinian hospitals, he just said, "Oh well, let me help you ethnically cleanse the remaining 1.2 million Palestinians living on the Gaza Strip."
Yeah. Hey, don't get me wrong. Free Palestine. That's all I'm gonna say.
Okay, I'm gonna go inside with the chat. I do think that you are a minor. We're gonna go to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just kind of give us a minute. The reason why I say that, why that makes me think that you're a minor, is because I feel like only like a 16-year-old would be pro-Palestine and pro-Trump simultaneously. Let's go to get that next guest up in the box right now, y'all. Everybody, just give us a minute, y'all. Guys, if you are MAGA, let me know down below in that chat. We will get you up on the live to have a conversation with us. Everybody, go ahead and drop a MAGA down below. Make sure that we're at least 18. Make sure that we're from America and we are MAGA. Trying to get that next guest up. It looks like we got Delilah loading in, as well as Chris. Hello, Chris. Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Thank you for the motorcycle. I appreciate that. How old are you, Chris?
19.
And why would you support Trump, man?
I just feel like he wants his country to be in a golden age rather than accept people from other countries and like give away all the jobs, and like we already have homeless people in our country. Why?
Wait, what the fuck do you mean give away all the jobs? Are you talking about people going to work to contribute to the American GDP and success of economy?
Why do we need more people from other countries when we have homeless people that we should be like trying to get off the streets?
What is one thing that Donald Trump has ever done for homeless Americans?
I can't name what he's done, but I know that
What is one thing that Republicans have ever done for homeless Americans?
What have Democrats done?
For sure. Food stamps, EBT, SNAP. Oh, Section 8, ring a bell.
Yeah, but that doesn't solve the root problem though. Like drugs and
Okay, well,
like drugs is the root.
don't say the specifics on the live, and no, that's not the only root problem. But I want to make it clear that social safety net, such as the one that I just named, does increase economic mobility in a country, including America, meaning that it makes it easier for individuals to break through the barriers to access to like a higher income bracket, and that's an absolute fact. And the second fact is that Donald Trump and Republicans have never done anything for low-income Americans. In fact, their big, beautiful bill only actively harms low-income Americans. Like, for instance, under the BBB, the bottom 20% of income earners in this country would lose $2,200 in after-tax income. Meanwhile, the top 1% would gain $25,000. And my source for that is the Center on Budget and Policy Priorities.
Okay, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, why don't we instead of trying to help people from other countries, why don't we just focus on our people first? You know
Okay.
what I mean? Like
Well,
that's what
I
he
don't.
means by America first
I
is
focus
why
on
don't
our
we
people first. So you just want to stop all immigration?
not stop all immigration? Like obviously if there's someone that's really smart and they can contribute to our country, yeah, let them
Oh,
come.
wait. If they contribute to our country, then they should be able to come
Yeah,
into America.
but
Okay.
there's
Well,
people,
wait,
there's
if that's your
immigrants coming
standard,
in that
wait,
aren't
sir,
contributing at
sir.
all.
If your standard is that you is that you are totally fine with accepting people that contribute to the country, well, like the demographic of immigrants as a whole, in totality, contribute to the country, including undocumented immigrants. Undocumented immigrants pay $100 billion per year in taxes and
Right.
$300 billion per year to the
Do you
American
want
GDP.
criminals though? Like in coming into the country illegally is a crime. So that makes them a criminal off the bat.
I mean, you want criminals in the Oval Office, so why would you care about me wanting criminals,
Yeah, but
quote
he's
unquote, in the country?
okay, but did he ever go to jail though?
Did he ever go to jail? No, he wasn't sentenced with jail time for his 34 felonies. And then he
So
was an
exactly.
adjudicated rapist in a civil court. That doesn't
So
mean that he's not a
where's the
criminal.
proof,
What is a
though?
criminal?
Where's the proof that he ever raped someone?
Oh, yeah, for sure. The findings of a civil court.
Where's the evidence? Why do you think he never went to jail? Because there wasn't enough evidence.
What
if,
is it?
if there was enough
wait.
evidence
Jesus
against him,
Christ.
he would have went to jail.
What's a
It's
civil
not.
court?
It's not just because he's rich. Jeffrey Epstein went to jail. There's tons of people that go to jail from these crimes. So don't say it's because he's rich, because he's white. It's not. It's because they never found any evidence to.
Really?
It's a girl that wants to
Right,
put
Ron,
down.
consumer. Thank you so much for the
Like-
three galaxies. I gotta ask you a really pressing question here, man. Do you know what a civil court is?
Yeah, it's
What
like a
is it?
person against a person, not a person against the state.
And what kind of no, you could get sued by a state. What kind of responsibility do they delegate? Financial responsibility, meaning that if you're found
Okay,
guilty
so fraud.
and if you're found guilty in a civil court, you don't go to jail. You have to pay money. Right? So when you're asking why is Donald Trump not in jail for rape, that must mean that there's no evidence brought against him. No. There was enough evidence to convince a unanimous jury of 9. But he was in a civil court, so he was only fined $87 million.
Okay. So he was fined $87 million. Did he pay that? Do you know if he paid it?
I don't know. Hopefully.
So
It'd be
paid,
illegal if he
paid his
didn't.
$87 million. And if we're saying that, okay, he's in civil court, he doesn't have to go to jail, but he paid his fine. So he basically, the punishment is over with. If they sentence him to jail, he would be in jail. He wouldn't be the president. But it's the system that messed up.
Wait, you think?
Technically, he's
Wait,
not
wait,
a
wait,
criminal.
wait. I just want to clarify. Under your view, you think that a man could just violently rape a woman, pay like 0.0001% of their net worth, and then they're just off the hook, and you're good with them running the country?
No, I feel like that's not what should be the case. He should go to jail for sure if he did.
Okay, I
Definitely
agree. So
rape
you
that
think
girl.
that Donald Trump should be in prison?
Yeah, but I don't feel like he went to civil court. If he raped someone, why wouldn't
It's
they?
like-
Why are they taking it to civil court?
That's a great
That lady
question.
just wants money. Right?
Okay, that's a bad conclusion, but a great question. So the reason this was held in civil court and not criminal court was because there's a statute of limitations on rape in the criminal court that had expired. It had gone past it. So in accordance with the state law of New York, E. Jean Carroll, the victim, couldn't bring it to criminal court, but she could bring it to civil court.
So she can't bring it to criminal court.
Yeah,
is what
because
you're
of the statute of limitations in the state of New York, unfortunately.
saying. Okay. Do you want to keep going on this point, or can I say another
Well,
reason
sure,
why
but I
it's
think
not?
like the overwhelming point that I'm trying to make is you're like, oh my God, I just really hate people that break the law. It's just terrible. But then when Donald Trump does it, when Donald Trump commits 34 felonies, when Donald Trump rapes a woman, when Donald Trump calls for the termination of the Constitution, when Donald Trump has SCOTUS adjudicate twice that he's violated the constitutional rights of different groups of people, you just don't care. When Donald Trump passes an illegal executive order to ban birthright citizenship for the children of undocumented immigrants born in America, then has a federal judge rule it and strike it down as unconstitutional, you don't give a shit. When Donald Trump calls violent offenders that try to beat up and kill cops on January 6 patriots and then lets them out of and then pardons them and lets them out of jail a third into their 12 12-year term, you don't care. It's like you don't care about crime. And then also, a lot of crime is consequential of what? Of poverty. Okay? So then when he advocates for this big, beautiful bill that reduces the after-tax income for 80% of Americans, disproportionately so lower income Americans, which will cause more poverty, therefore more crime, it's like, oh, it's the best thing since fucking sliced bread.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely things that he could do better, right? Like, but I also feel like he's more open and we know what's going on than the previous party. Like with the Democrats, I
They're
just feel
not.
like there's way more
They're not the party.
secrecy.
They're not the party of transparency. No, 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 no. Rahani Consumer, I appreciate you for the 3 galaxies once again. Did you know that actually this morning, Donald Trump took down all of the transcripts from his interviews and press conferences off of his White House website because if you read the transcripts, you recognize that he's just completely incoherent. But Biden still has all of his transcripts up. Obama still has all of his transcripts up. In fact, even JD Vance still has all of his transcripts up. Okay, it just is the case that the administration knows that if they were transparent about the words that comes out of our president's mouth and recorded it on a transcript, it would make it easier for the American people to acknowledge he's incoherent. So they took it down, a direct attack on transparency. Okay, and like, where was the transparency when he lost the 2020 election? He's tried to cover that up. How long has he been lying to his base about that? Where was the transparency when he then tried to rig it and steal it from Biden? Where was the transparency when he told 30,000 lies? You know, where was the transparency when he called all black people lazy in the 90s and then never talked about it again? What about when he perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama saying that he was born in Kenya, therefore nobody should vote for him, then never talked about it again? Okay? Donald Trump is not a transparent president. Donald Trump is a president that is willing to do whatever it takes to benefit himself, even if it's at the detriment of everybody else. He doesn't care about transparency. He cares about power, and he cares about the public's perception of his own.
Okay. I feel like that's every politician though.
Okay,
Like
so has every other
every
politician tried
politician.
to rig a federal election then called for the termination of the Constitution when they failed? I don't think so.
Well, maybe they hit it. Who knows? Like we can't just say because like, okay, so you're saying that he erased his transcript. Like, how do we know that other presidents didn't just erase stuff? You know, like
Or
Joe Biden. Joe Biden
Biden.
said some pretty crazy stuff in the 90s too.
And
Right?
Joe
Like,
Biden has taken accountability and apologized for the crazy shit he has said. Listen, man, at the end of the day, Donald Trump isn't a good president, and I want you to try to convince me otherwise. Take it away.
okay. Donald Trump
That's his name.
is a powerful like figure, right? I feel like we need a powerful figure that makes America the top country. Because
So we actually have like global economic experts indicating that because of his policy, it is the case that like China's gonna like overtake America in the long run insofar as the domination of the
right,
global
but
commerce.
that's what
And
Donald Trump is trying
and
to
do you
fight,
really
though.
think that like stagnating American manufacturing it was caused by his policy? Do you think that
But
stagnating American
he's
Do you-
reversing
sir,
that.
he's causing it with his policy right now? Not to mention, do you think that stagnating investment in American manufacturing makes us stronger? Do you think that having negative GDP growth for the first quarter of this year, when that didn't happen in any other country on earth, makes us stronger? Do you think that passing economic
But that's
policy
not.
that decreases the after-tax income for 80% of Americans makes us stronger?
You
Do you
can't
think
say that's just
dividing?
Donald Trump though.
It is just
'Cause
Donald Trump.
the GDP has always
Ronnie, thank you so much for the galaxy.
has
I
been on
appreciate
the
that.
down for years. It wasn't just Donald Trump's policy.
So that's just not true. What you just said is false. Thank you for all the galaxies. Holy shit, Rahani. How many galaxies are you sending? Dude, can we show some love to Rahani in that chat? Since when?
All
What
right,
the
so
hell?
you're telling me that when Joe Biden was president and he was giving billions of dollars away, that our GDP was higher than when Donald Trump reversed the billions of dollars we're giving to countries that we don't have to?
First of all, federal expenditures went up in the first quarter of this year. And second of all, yes.
How so? How does us spending more money increase the amount of money that we have?
Okay, well, actually, what you're saying is not true. Once again, Donald Trump is spending more money. I don't know why people think that Donald Trump is fiscally conservative. He spent twice as much as the Biden-Harris administration did in his first term alone. And with one bill alone, this big, beautiful bill, it's going to add $3.8 trillion to the deficit. Dude, that is $1.5 trillion more than every dollar spent in non-COVID related expenditure in the last 4 years.
Okay, I'm just trying to understand like all the cuts that he's making in the long term, like bringing jobs back to America and like
How's he going to do
getting
that?
getting Apple factories out of China and putting them in America is gonna.
That's either not going to happen or it's going to be terrible. You understand that, like,
How is that gonna be terrible for Americans?
Yeah,
Though?
for sure. Because if they were to move all of their manufacturing to America, the average iPhone would cost $4,000 to $5,000.
Okay, but
Right, and by the way,
more
that is
Americans
more.
are gonna
That,
have jobs.
that
Like,
is that is more than what iPhones would cost if they just bit the bullet on that tariff and increased the price of their good while still producing it in China. And you're
right?
telling us that
Do
this
you,
will give more Americans more jobs. I don't think it will, because guess what? If new iPhones start to cost $4,000, who the hell is going to buy a new iPhone? And if
but
nobody's
who's
buying
gonna
new
have a job?
iPhones, then who's
Thousands
going to
of
have
people that
jobs to
work at the
create the new
Apple
iPhones?
factory.
You got to have demand in order to have an incentive to create the
Okay,
supply, right?
yeah, but do you know what the working conditions are like in China?
Do I
Like,
know?
do you know why the phones are being made so cheap?
Let me. Are you going to say like child slave labor?
No, it's just not specifically child labor, but like in general, they're getting paid shit.
Okay.
Like,
Well, I think it's important for you to recognize that no, not every company operating in China is like as detrimentally exploitative of their workers as like a lot of people on the right want to point out. And then B, it is the case that although there's lower wages in China on average, like typical companies in China don't just pay wages to their employees, but they also give them like housing, food, and water. But I will obviously agree that there is exploitative labor nonetheless. And it could even be to a higher degree than what we'd observe here. But I also want to point it out that Donald Trump is only making commerce with China more readily available, as he did just go into a deal with China to reduce the tariffs they have on us. Like, what do you think that does? It's just removing barriers to trade, making trade easier, giving more incentive for China to buy American goods and Americans to buy Chinese goods.
but what you're saying though, wouldn't that be a good thing? Because then
What? Well,
we're
what you're
trading
saying
with
is
China more.
but you're saying that's a bad thing because you think that
Yeah,
China is
but
terrible and that you don't want them
that's
to
what
be more
you
powerful.
you
And
want is you want to be able to trade with China, and so that's what Trump is doing, right?
so
So
I'll give you my thoughts on that trade deal after you can acknowledge that this trade deal contradicts what you believe he's doing. Because you said
okay,
that he
yeah,
wants to
I
make China
agree.
weaker
I
and
agree.
he wants to get us less, less reliant upon Chinese goods. And this is seemingly doing the opposite.
No, I do agree. I feel like he switches a lot for sure. Like
Hmm.
he'll say one thing and
I
then
have a
he'll
question.
change it.
How is he going to add more jobs to the American economy in the long term?
Bringing businesses to America.
How's he going to do
Like
that?
bringing not having them. I don't know because Apple is American business, right? Like
Could you please give me a justified economic argument to demonstrate that in the long term Donald Trump is going to bring more businesses into America?
you want a long-term explanation.
Yeah, I want an argument to justify what you said.
Okay. So Donald Trump will stop Apple from having factories in China, which will or in other countries as well. So that will force them to either build in America or another country, right? Like,
Why okay, first of all, you're talking about one fucking company. You're literally talking about one company.
okay,
Okay?
I said other
And
companies
then
as well. I'm
second and
just
then
saying
second of
Apple
all,
because that's the one
and
that
then
came
second
to
of all,
my
no,
mind.
that's not going to happen. Because if they were to just bite that bullet on that 25% tariff that he's threatening, their product would still end up costing American consumers less than the $4,000 to $5,000 it would cost if it was produced here. They would still have more incentive to produce it outside of America than they would inside America.
Okay, so then he has to give tax cuts or something to the the companies that come to America. Like,
Oh,
there's
oh,
ways
oh,
that he
really,
can do
really,
that.
really. But what is him threatening a 25% tariff on them? That's a tax increase.
So they have to come to America. That's what the tariffs were for, was to force them to build in America.
What did I just respond to this? I just debunked this. What did I literally just respond to this? I just explained to you why
He
this won't work.
reduced the tariffs. You said that he reduced the tariffs.
The reason why his announced 25% tariff on Apple will not work is because if they bite the bullet on that tariff and they just simply increase the price of their good by more than 25% to account for that tariff, it is the case that their product will still cost less in the American market compared to what it would cost if they did produce it in America. Not to mention, if they moved to America, they would still be importing a lot of the raw materials that they use to manufacture and put together their iPhones. And when a lot of those raw materials come from China, they'll be paying more for them, as they'll be hit with the 30% tariff compared to the 25% tariff if they just continue to operate inside of the country.
Right. I understand, and this is like it's a big problem, I feel like, because
Okay, so then you don't have
I mean,
an
it's
argument.
not something
So then,
you can
if you
solve
understand,
instantly.
if you understand what I'm saying, then you understand how this obviously will not incentivize Apple to move to America.
That's why we have to. China has a grasp on stuff. Like,
I don't want
they-
to talk about China. I want to talk about your position that you think that Donald Trump is going to create more American jobs in the long term.
because if there's companies that come to America in the long term, and you're saying that it will
Okay,
be
so
more
I just want to
expensive,
clarify that your argument is if there's companies that move to America in the long term, then there'll
that
be more
equals more
American
jobs. Yes.
Oh,
that
it
equals more
does.
jobs.
Oh, fucking duh. But what do you think the question is that I'm asking you? I'm asking you for the argument that will demonstrate that Donald Trump is going to cause more companies to move to America. Like imagine that I said that if Harris was elected, she would quadruple the GDP. Okay? And then you're like, Dean, give me an argument to demonstrate that Harris would have quadrupled the GDP. And then I respond to that by saying, well, if she multiplied the GDP by 4, then she would have quadrupled the GDP. Okay, well, that's not an argument. I'm just explaining what it would mean for her to quadruple the GDP. Just like you're saying, well, if more companies move to America in the long term, then there'll be more American jobs. Okay, well, I'm asking you to give me an argument to demonstrate that because of Donald Trump's economic policy, there will be more companies that move to America in the long term.
Okay. So based on his policies, right? I saw a comment that said Trump is only president for
Don't
3 and
respond
a
to the
half.
comments. Just respond to what
Okay.
I'm saying.
All right.
We're to the
So
question.
long term, I'm not like a economic advisor, right? So I can't tell you what the plan would be to
Okay,
get
great.
more
So then you
jobs
don't
in
have an
America
argument.
long term. No, I'm saying like
So then
if
you don't have an
think about it
argument. That's fine. Do you want to
realistically,
move
though,
on to a different
I'm-
topic though? Because you
No,
obviously
but
don't have an argument.
America has resources. Like America has allies that will be able to supply resources for cheap, like Canada. They could get resources from Canada cheaper than they can get them from China. So if like there's ways that America can get jobs back into America instead of having all
Chris-
these companies building in China
Chris,
so
can I be
that we
honest
can
with
have
you?
cheaper iPhones.
Can I be honest
Like
with you?
over time we'll have cheaper iPhones in America.
Can I be
We
honest
just
with
have
you,
to
Chris?
yeah.
You don't know what you're talking about, and I don't say that to be mean. I just say that to maybe ask you if you want to talk about something else. Because like I've asked you 5 times now for an argument. You said it yourself.
All right, what would you have
don't-
said?
you
Just
don't
so
really- you
I
don't-
know. I
one
won't
second,
argue
let
about
me
this
finish
anymore.
talking here. I asked you for an argument 5 times to justify that his policy is going to move more companies to be operated inside of America in the long term. You said, I don't know, because I'm not an economic advisor, but something about Canada. Okay, well, come on, man. That's not a realistic argument.
No, but you brought up the resources that China has. So I was talking about other countries that also have the resources that America would need so that they don't have to rely on China. Like that's what I was responding to. Like there's other countries that can supply resources other than China. So it's not like we
Okay,
just have to build
wait.
in China.
So you're saying that China is not the only country on earth with productive resources?
No, that's what you were saying is because the companies have to build there because they have resources that the United States doesn't to build the products. So what I'm saying is
just please,
it's not just China with
I'm
those
just really
resources.
I'm just really advising you to move on to a different topic.
All right, what do you want to pick the topic?
No, I
All
want you
right.
to tell us why you support Trump. But like, bro, the economic. Like, listen, man, I would highly implore you to just educate yourself a little bit on economics before you try to like have a conversation like that. And I'm saying this for like my well-being, okay? Because guess what? It is 11:20 a.m. I haven't finished my cup of Joe yet, and like this is just like sending me. Okay, all right, man. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Sure. Let's see. Okay, defense. I would say defense is a big one. I feel like Donald Trump is trying to have a more like advanced approach to defense so that we deter people from trying to like threaten America or you know what I mean?
Listen,
Like
I think that national security and defense is a good, important thing that we do need to have some of our focus on. But guess what? If we cut our DoD budget in half, we would still be spending $100 billion per year more on our defense than the second country spending on spending's country on defense. Okay, like I think that there's like a billion and one better ways to be spending our money than on further increasing our already inflated DoD budget.
well like sending it to other countries?
Yeah, for sure. That's one better way that we could be spending our money. Yeah, like sending it to Ukraine. Absolutely.
So like but like what is Ukraine doing for America?
Okay. Well, they denuclearized, and we went into an agreement with them in the '90s, stating if they denuclearize, we would defend them if they're invaded. But I also want to make it clear that not everything is about what they're doing for us in order for us to do something for them, especially under the special context of the fact that they're getting ethnically cleansed by an aggressor.
Okay, so like if someone to were to invade America, right? Like say China tried to invade America, are all these other countries we're sending money to, are they gonna immediately come to our defense? Like are they gonna try
Yeah,
and save
every
us?
country in NATO. Yep.
All right, just NATO though, but not all these Middle Eastern countries and even Ukraine.
The,
Are they gonna defend us?
Ukraine wants to join NATO.
Okay, so Ukraine's in NATO now, but we're still sending money to the Middle East.
Sending money. Oh, you think that we should stop sending money to Israel?
Maybe not Israel
Why not?
because
Why? Wait!
because
Why?
they're
Why
getting
should we send money to Israel, but we shouldn't send money to Ukraine?
because they're getting attacked by terrorists.
Oh, okay. Well, not only is that not fucking true, but Ukraine is definitely getting attacked by terrorists. Can we agree on that?
Okay, yeah.
So we should be sending money to them too. If we should send money to people that are getting attacked by terrorists, we should be sending money to
Okay,
Ukraine as well. Correct?
yeah, let's save Ukraine.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna gotta move on to the next guest. I'm sorry, you're just hurting my brain. Everyone, just give us a minute to get that next guest up in here, y'all. Let's go and get that next guest up in the box, y'all. We got Marchman loading up in. D, thank you so much for the 15 Canadian dollars over on YouTube Super Chat, saying last time I think my donations disappeared. Keep up the good work. I support you along with over 100,000 others. That's so kind of you. As well as Veteran, thank you for the $50 Super Chat over on YouTube. Let's get 500 Veteran W's. Veteran says, still doing more than my politicians and on a Sunday. My guy, this boomer is so proud of you. Veteran, dude, I love Veteran. Can everybody please show some very special love to Veteran? So Veteran is a boomer, and Veteran watches the streams like every single day. They're always in here. They're so incredibly kind. They're a veteran that has served this country, and they're still fighting for this country until this day. I seriously, I just want to take a brief moment to show some very special love to Veteran. You're a great person, and I want to grow up to be just like you. I hope that you're still in here so you could hear these kind words. I just want to let you know that I look up to you a lot. As well as Caroline, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much, saying coffee and anxiety pinch, breakfast of champions. Oh, dude, I'm living my life. That's damn straight. Matt, thank you for the 5. Tip with a 5. Thank you guys so much for the love. As well as Brandy with a 3. Angel with a 1. And Aria with a $50 over on PayPal. That is ARIAH. Aria says, hope you have a great day today, and thank you so much for everything that you do. Love you so much. I love you too, Aria. Thank you for the $50. Aria and Veteran, thank you both. And what's up, Marchman? Do you support Trump? And Marchman isn't here. Let me know if you are MAGA down below in that comment section. We will get you up on this live to have a debate with us. Keep in mind, y'all, we are doing a shorter live stream today. In fact, we only have another hour and a half left on the live. The reason why we only have around an hour and a half left is because I'm ending early because I got to hit a 3-hour drive into the mountains to see my dad. What is going on, Lando? Do you support Trump?
I don't like working out because it hurts.
Okay, I don't like talking to you because it hurts. Get out of here. Moving on to the next guest, everyone. We're going to go to get that next secret agent guest up in the live, y'all. Everyone just give us a minute, guys. Everyone just give us a minute. And if you do want to support me, yo, Montana, I just sent you an invitation. You should come up in the live. Montana, I just saw you in the chat. Everybody, spam Montana. You should join. Montana, I won't overtalk you. I won't interrupt you. I won't mute your mic. I just want to have a good one-on-one conversation with you right now, Montana. Don't be scared. Don't run away from the 20-year-old liberal. Montana, come up here and have a conversation. I sent you an invite. I would love to chat. Please. Oh, she is joining. Montana, hello.
Okay. So, Dean, the only reason I came up was because you came up to my live last night, remember?
Yeah.
Okay. So, why did you come up and say that to Ryan?
Oh, so why did I call it like a sundown panel? Because
Yeah, why'd you do that?
because he was like talking for around 25 minutes about why he thinks that white people are better than black people. That's why.
That's not what he was saying at all, and you and I both know that.
Well, I mean, I have like some specific like quotes of his, which by the way, are
please.
like further are used to like further propone and push the narrative of white supremacy, particularly with
Oh my
alt-right circles
God.
complaining to like gripers.
Dear Lord.
Like he was
I
like talking.
don't allow any of that crap to go up to go on my live. So why don't you tell me exactly what he said?
Yeah, for sure. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, well,
verbatim.
one of the points that he made specifically verbatim, and which is incredibly indicative of those alt-right circles, is like this myth that like white people have invented more than black individuals because white people are better at inventing. He spoke for around like 15 minutes about that, and I mean that's just
That's not true.
it is.
That is not true.
I mean, I heard
So
him say it.
listen, so really, you heard it say it. So I can tell that is not true. So listen, one thing I don't do is that I don't lie, and I don't. There's no reason to lie. Now, if he would have said that, I would say, yeah, Dean, he said that, but he did not say that. You and I both know it.
Okay,
You're
well,
over it.
there was around like 300 people in that live that also heard it, including like a handful of people in the chat right now. And yeah, I mean,
Really?
like,
Wow, I
so
don't see that in the chat.
He did indeed like.
Other than some dude go, girl, you're lying. Okay, girl, you're lying. No,
So
I'm not
he
lying.
did indeed like say that. Like once again, he was talking about how much white people have invented compared to how much black individuals have invented. Like, do you remember, for instance, when he asked Carbon to name 20 black inventions? Do you remember?
I don't recall that.
That
no.
was a specific question that he asked Carbon.
I don't recall him. No, I don't recall him saying that
Should we get Carbon up
or
in here?
asking that. Excuse me, asking that. I don't recall that.
I mean, listen, I think that Ryan is a lot of things, but one thing that he is I do think that he's like transparent about his views. Please, next time you're on a live with him, ask him.
He's in my live
if he
almost every
Yeah,
night.
for sure. Next, like tonight, ask Ryan about the argument that he was trying to run on Carbon relating to how he thinks that white individuals are better at inventing than black individuals. I mean, there's another quote that he said, wherever white people go, infrastructure, roads, and public facilities follow. And then when the white people leave and it's dominated by everybody else, the infrastructure's crippled, the roads go to shit, and the society's destroyed. I mean, like, for instance, I went to a speech by a white supremacist of the name of Jared Taylor, and Jared Taylor was using the identical talking points to Ryan on that live last night.
Okay, so when he was speaking to Carbon regarding this matter, I do not recall. Let me just put it this way: I do not recall him mentioning anything about Black Americans not being able to invent more than the Caucasians.
Literally,
Because see, I don't
just
do
ask him
whites,
about it.
and I don't do.
Ask him about it tonight. I bet he'll tell you that, yeah, that is something he said. I'm being serious. Ask him about it when he's on your live tonight.
And if he did, I'm sure that's not how he meant it.
And that's where we disagree. And I bet that we disagree on a lot of things.
That's not. No, one thing, okay, listen, one thing Ryan is not, he is not racist. So I wish that you would stop saying that. He's not racist. What would he
Really?
gain by being racist?
Well, the support of
Please
around
tell me.
50% of our country, just like Trump.
Wow, really? So you think Trump is racist?
I do, yes.
What, and you base that off of what?
For sure. I base this off of an historical track record of racism since the 70s and
I'm
a
not
lack
going
of
all
an
the way to
ability.
the 70s, and it was his father. It was his father. There's no proof whatsoever that it was Trump.
Well, you don't even know what I'm going to say. So can I speak first?
Sure.
Okay. Well, I want to highlight like a couple things in which I like personally find to just be like undeniable. Okay. Like I'd say like the biggest example of like racism from Donald Trump that you can't deny that he did it and you can't deny that it's racist was his perpetuation of Barack Obama's birther myth. Okay. Donald Trump for 6 years spoke very publicly about how he believes that Obama was born in Kenya with no evidence, even though he was born in Hawaii and he made his birth certificate publicly available. And the only reason that he perpetuated this birther myth of Barack Obama was because, according to the Constitution, you have to be an American-born citizen in order to be eligible to run for the presidency. So people like Trump try to convince people that he wasn't an American-born citizen, so then they wouldn't vote for him because they didn't think that he's eligible for the presidency. And once again, the only reason why he said he was born in Kenya was because, well, he's black. Okay, all right? And this is essentially running the argument that, well, this black man shouldn't have this job because he is black.
Uh, so there was a gentleman that just came out just recently. Actually, what he did was he did quite a bit of research when it came to Obama's birth certificate, and and there was a lot of questions, and so he basically said that his birth there was that his birth certificate there was quite a bit of discrepancies, let's say.
What are those discrepancies?
So I'm being very, very careful on how I'm saying. And honestly, I really just don't care about Obama's birth certificate.
What are the discrepancies in Obama's birth certificate from Hawaii?
There was just discrepancies
Like what?
about his birth, and I mean his birthday, I guess, and
His birthday.
know,
What
but I
was
mean,
the
as
discrepancy?
they
Was his
said-
what was the discrepancy? Was it with his birthday?
on his birthday. I'm just talking to you about this gentleman that brought this out.
Okay. Well, what was
Okay,
the
so he brought
discrepancy?
that he went ahead, and if I could find that, I would let you know. But I have no idea where I have that in my bookmarks, and I'm not going to look for it right now.
Okay.
Seriously. So I did bookmark it, and so but I really don't care. I mean, I don't care. Obama was a
you-
2-term
you don't care about
president, and so
racism.
I don't care. What?
You don't care about racism. That's what you're saying.
I don't care about racism because I'm not racist.
If you weren't racist,
You understand?
you'd care about racism. Think.
I am not.
Montana.
I don't care about racism. Let me say this again to you. I don't care about racism because I'm not racist.
Montana, do KKK members care about racism?
I don't. You know what, dude? I'm not going to sit here and float your boat and blow up your ego about KKK. I have nothing to do with the KKK.
I'm
I'm an immigrant.
Okay.
So you're talking to an immigrant right now that I was born in Mexico.
Yeah.
Both my parents were born in Mexico. They came through the port of entry legally, and we all became American citizens. So you're talking to somebody that is an immigrant, and and I'm grateful to be in this country, and and my parents came into this country legally,
Okay. Well,
and then we all became citizens.
My point with asking you that question was you said that if you're not racist, you don't care about racism. The only people that don't care about racism are racists. Like, think about it. KKK.
Really? How's that?
Think about it. KKK members would like lynch and kill black people because they're black. That was racist. Did they care? No, they enjoyed it. What about Nazis? I mean,
Yeah, and
they
it was disgusting.
They systemically committed the genocide of 12 million individuals, including 6 million Jewish individuals because they were Jewish, 350,000 black individuals because
Again,
they were black,
yes,
and
human
200,000
race
Romani
is
individuals because they were Romani.
disgusting.
But did they care about that racism? No, because they were racist. Like every
Exactly.
single time.
I never said there wasn't racism.
Exactly. So,
in this
but
country.
my point is, the people that don't care about racism are the ones perpetuating the racism, right?
Oh, so you're trying to tell me that I'm doing that?
Well, I'm just
That's
simply
impossible.
what I'm. Well, you are, but my main point here
No,
is that
I'm not.
my main.
You're
Listen,
basing
Montana.
that off of
Let
what?
me be able to make my main point very, very clear. When you said that people that don't care about racism are the ones who aren't racist, that was categorically false. People are only not racist because they care about racism. Like, for instance, do you care about racism that the KKK has perpetuated, that Nazis have perpetuated? If you say yes, okay, what this means is that you think it was wrong and you want to get away from that. You want to stop that. But if you say no, what that means is that you don't think it's wrong. You're okay with it. You don't want to
I'm
get away with
sorry.
it, and
My
you don't want to
internet
stop
went.
it.
I'm sorry. My internet glitched out, so I didn't hear the first part of what you were saying. So you need to repeat that, please.
The people who don't care about racism are the people that are racist. My evidence is every single racist group that we have ever known ever don't care about the racism that they're perpetuating that's kind of self-implied.
Okay.
And then think about this. How much did MLK care about racism? He cared about racism a lot. He
Yes.
dedicated his life. Was MLK racist?
No.
My point.
No. So, but again, you're trying to tell me that I'm racist. I'm not racist. So I don't understand racism because I'm not racist. Do you understand?
I think
I understand that other people are that absolutely. I mean, that's been shown through history.
well, the most I can say with
That's
certainty.
unfortunate. But Trump is not racist.
The most I could say with certainty is that you seriously don't care about racism.
Well, I don't. I shouldn't. Well, okay, listen. If someone was being, let's just say in my own little bubble of life, if I was to see someone being attacked and they were being racist towards that person, I would intervene. Do you understand? Because I do not believe in racism.
Okay, so why didn't you
So
intervene with Donald Trump perpetuating Obama's birther myth by not voting for him?
but again, when is the last time that Trump brought up Obama's birth certificate,
Yeah,
Dean?
for sure, 2016, but that's not the last time he's been racist. Just 2 months ago, he told Hannity on Fox News that he could tell who the good and bad immigrants are just by looking at them. And this comes after comments of him
Right.
saying that undocumented immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country, as well as his
True.
announced plan to help Israel ethnically. Did you just say true?
Mm-hmm.
So you know that's a
True.
quote from Mein Kampf, right?
That it's a what?
Immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country.
You're going in and out. Hold on
Is
a
a
second.
direct quote word for word from the Mein Kampf?
Hold on a second. Give me a second.
Yeah, for sure. I'll give you a second. No worries.
Okay. Sorry. I'm sorry. I had my internet was going in and out.
So that quote that you just said is true. That immigrants are poisoning the blood of this country. First of all, you said
Do you
that.
know which immigrants he was? Do you know which immigrants he was speaking about?
Well,
The illegal immigrants.
He
that
just
he
he
was
just
speaking
said
about.
he just said
Do you know?
immigrants. But even if you want
Do
to
you
say
know? Do
even
you
if
know what immigrants?
even
What
even if
illegal immigrants he was speaking about?
even if you want to say undocumented immigrants, it doesn't change. That is still yet a quote from the Mein Kampf. Yeah. Also, you have God in your bio. If Jesus came down to America today to give you salvation, he obviously wouldn't be going through the legal means of entry. Would you call Jesus an illegal immigrant?
Oh my gosh. Oh my
It's a
gosh.
fair question, right?
Oh my gosh.
Don't leave. Please
No,
don't leave.
I'm not gonna leave. I'm not gonna leave. So if you're gonna bring Jesus into this picture,
Yeah. I would love
so
to. I would love to.
have you read the Bible?
Yes, I have read the Bible. I spend an unnecessary amount of my time studying Christianity.
Unnecessary.
It's probably my favorite thing to do outside of these live streams. When I'm not live
Because
streaming,
you're
I'm
an
studying
atheist or
Christianity.
agnostic?
Yeah, I'm an
Atheist.
I'm an atheist agnostic that for whatever reason loves to study Christianity.
Wow, why is that?
I don't know. I think that church history is really
What,
interesting.
that way you can attack Christians?
No, I just find it interesting.
Why would you find it interesting?
Probably because I grew up in the Catholic Church and I want to know more about the first 16 years of my life.
Okay, well, did something happen to you in the 16 years of your life in a Catholic church or what? I mean, why would you find studying, why would you find that interesting? I don't understand.
Well,
If you
I
could
don't,
explain
I
it a
don't
little
know.
bit further, I would appreciate it.
I don't know what that last thing you said was supposed to imply, Miss Montana. But what I will say is, I understand if you don't find like intellectualism in the arts
So,
and studying history interesting,
and
but I sure do.
yeah, and I'm sure you study it that way you can attack Christians.
I mean, I don't typically.
Christians,
So, like, my most recent thing that I've studied is the Great Schism of 1100 AD, which is where the Orthodoxy split from the papacy and the Catholic Church. How am I going to use that to attack Christians?
well, I mean that's a little bit different, of
But
course.
that's
Okay.
what I like to study.
Okay. All right. Whatever floats your
So,
boat.
but I mean, like,
So in
relating
the Word
to.
of God, it says it's to obey by obey the laws. Obey the laws. So one of our laws of our country is what? Immigrants come through the port of entry.
Okay, no, actually, Jesus does not say that you must obey the laws that exist over you. That's not true.
That is true.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, show me.
Yeah. It's actually in the New Testament.
So he gives the moral authority to create prescriptive, normative moral truths in which you
So
ought
you just think
obey
that we
to
should
the
just
state.
have open borders? That's what you're saying. That's
Wait,
what you're
wait,
trying
wait,
to imply. We
wait,
should just have open
wait.
borders and let
If you
everybody
agree,
in.
wait, if you think that Donald Trump, if you think that Jesus tells you to obey all laws, when Roe v. Wade was in place, did you support women's access to abortion since you had to obey the laws?
Of course, I didn't support it.
Oh, look at you, violating Jesus' teaching. Why didn't you obey the law? Bad Christian. Very bad.
What are you talking about?
You
But
weren't
the law
obeying the
became
laws.
law. I mean, just because I don't support it doesn't mean that. How was I able to stop a freaking AB?
So why is it fine for you not to support laws, but it's not fine for me not to support laws, Montana?
So, what laws are you not supporting?
I think the big one in the context of immigration is mass deportation.
Oh, okay, mass deportation
Yeah, I
and
don't
mass.
like
And
mass
who is he?
deportation.
And who is he? And who is he? And who is he deporting?
Undocumented immigrants and some citizens, but only a few.
Oh, no, he hasn't deported any citizens.
Yeah, he
So
deported a
stop with that.
2-year girl with brain cancer.
No, the mother decided to take that child with her.
So that's
She had the choice of keeping that child here, okay?
Was there a
But she
custodial
decided
hearing in
to
front of a
take
judge?
that she decided to take her child with her.
Was there a custodial hearing in front of a judge?
I don't think so.
Why?
Well, why would there be?
Why would there be? Because due process is important, especially as it applies to the living conditions of children. And I wish you'd recognize that since you're so pro-life.
I am pro-life. But if the mother decides to take her child with her,
Well,
she chose to take her child with her.
the complication
She could
was
have
a
she could have
downhill.
left her child here, but she chose not to. That is all up to the mother. Who are you
because
or
the-
I to say otherwise?
Well, because there's a father in America, I think that a custodial hearing in front of a family judge would have been very important. I
Then the
do
mother
agree.
should have pushed that through. Then she did not.
Well, I think it's Trump's administration fault. It's his administration's fault. for
No,
not giving her due
absolutely. It
process.
had nothing to do with the Trump administration. That is
Really?
a flat out
But
lie.
they're like very known for not granting people due process before they're deported. I think that the most notable incident of this is going to be Abrego Garcia.
Oh my God.
Did you know that he was illegally deported, Montana?
He was not illegally deported.
Okay, Montana, I would like to bet you money. Can we bet money?
Okay.
How much?
No, I'm not going to bet money.
What will you bet?
I thought you weren't supposed to bet on this app.
I know I'm being a very bad boy, breaking the rules.
So
Okay.
you want to keep your live up, so I suggest that you don't do that.
To be fair, Parker has been taken down for that before. How about this?
Yeah, so
If-
just be careful.
If
with
I
that.
can prove you wrong, if I could prove to you that he was indeed illegally deported, will you concede?
If you can prove it, actually prove it.
Yeah,
Sure.
actually prove it. Okay.
Yeah.
Read this. I'm not even joking. Just read it out loud, preferably.
Well, I can't because it has a bunch of junk all over it.
Okay, I'll read it. On March 15th, 2025, the United States removed Kilmar Armando Abrego Garcia from the United States to El Salvador, where he's currently being detained in CCOT. The United States acknowledges that Abrego Garcia was subject to a withholding order forbidding his removal to El Salvador, and that the removal to El Salvador was therefore illegal. This is SCOTUS. the United States represents that the removal to El Salvador was a result of an administrative error. So both SCOTUS, which includes 6 conservative judges, 3 of which Trump appointed himself, as well as Trump's own administration, both recognize that it was illegal and both recognize that it was an error. So if they recognize that it's illegal, why don't you?
No. So the Trump administration did not recognize that it was an error. As a matter of fact, that
Was SCOTUS lying? then?
so when did the Trump administration say that the Trump administration came out? Who said that it was who
Yeah.
said it?
Yeah, the press secretary of the Trump administration, once again, as SCOTUS says, is SCOTUS lying because they say that the administration,
Can you pull Moon up for me?
what?
Can you pull up Moon? He's in your queue. Can you pull him up?
What's their name?
Moon. Can you pull him
Moon?
up for me?
Yeah, sure. I'll pull up Moon. Last night, Moon was very rude to me. In fact, Moon kicked me 5 seconds into the conversation with him.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry about that. So, well, you'll have to
I
come
removed
back.
you because you were insulting one of our panel members.
Yeah, I called the Sundowner a little boy. I did.
Yeah, and that's just not acceptable on our lives. We don't get the breaks that you guys do over here, so we have to run a tighter ship. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings.
It was so acceptable when he was perpetuating quote unquote mythical justification for alt-right Nazi beliefs, such as the
Yeah,
idea
see,
that
that was
white
the part
individuals are
that
better at inventing than black
you guys were
individuals.
getting into. But if I hurt your feelings, I'm sorry. I'll apologize.
Wait, did you just said that we were indeed getting into that? So you recognize that he was perpetuating justification of alt-right Nazi ideas?
That conversation stopped when you walked in if you didn't stick around.
Yeah.
So you admit that he was talking about it?
Absolutely. And it got stopped. And then you came in and insulted him, and I removed you from the panel. And then your friend down there, the important guy, said he was going to ask you to come back up, which we left you a spot, which you didn't come back to. That's okay.
Wait. Now we need to go over something because Montana, earlier you're telling me that absolutely Ryan was not justifying Nazi beliefs. Okay, he's not racist at all.
He was not.
He was not, like I said.
Moon, you just told me that he was. You said that there was a conversation.
No,
about that.
Sundowner came out one time. We stopped the conversation. It didn't go any further because we don't have the ability on our side of the aisle to have any communication whatsoever that deals with the R word, that deals with any components that deal with that. So I shut it down immediately. And then you came in and then you insulted the panelist, which we don't do. We don't run our lives the way that they have the ability to do on the left side for whatever reason. TikTok likes the left side of the aisle a little bit more. Maybe Susie Loftus. I don't know why.
Favors the left for sure.
It's the reality we deal with. So we know what it takes to keep our live up
So
on Montana's side, and that's
think
why I'm on for.
I don't think regardless of your political affiliation, when you're justifying Nazi ideology, as you just admitted he
That's
was.
why it
we
got
were-
shut down.
We
It
were
got shut down
not.
immediately.
So Moon, I just want to clarify that you do indeed agree that your buddy Ryan was justifying Nazi
He's
ideology.
not my buddy, number one. So don't start insinuating that people that I have
Oh, okay.
in a life
He's not
are
your
my
buddy. He's not your
buddies.
buddy, but you do agree that he was justifying Nazi ideology.
No, I do not
No.
justify what he was talking about. I don't speak for
What?
other people. I didn't pay attention to anything other than when I heard the term and you came in, I shut it down. That was it.
Mon-
Montana, how
No,
do
You
you
let,
you
feel?
you
weren't
let
there.
that man talk. You let that man talk while I was trying to talk, by the way. I was trying to denounce
Corbin, don't
him.
put up.
I don't know why you're over
Corbin,
talking.
Corbin, you got removed 5 times.
Yeah, 5 times. Yeah, I know.
The only reason I muted you guys is because you interrupted Carbon. Don't interrupt each other, and I won't mute you.
Okay, fair
Right.
enough.
Go ahead, Carbon.
Yeah, I was over here trying to show the logical fallacies, as you know, Yahtzees usually have. I was showing his logical fallacies, and every time I tried to speak, you let this man overtalk me. You started overtalking me, and then when I said, "Hey, don't overtalk me," you kicked me. You like over here promoting this man on your live, and I even told you about this, Montana. I was like, "Why are you you have this Yahtzee on your live, and you're not giving him any pushback whatsoever? You're just chilling, like you're talking about taxes or something." What did you say?
You never said that to me.
What did you say
You
when
never
I said that to
said
you?
that,
You
Carbon.
never said that last
Yes,
night.
I did.
No, you did
Said,
not.
I don't
Stop
think. I don't-
fibbing.
Montana, with all due respect, I just simply don't think that your memory is going to be a reliable source of information. The reason why I say this is because the very first thing I asked you when you first joined was to recognize that, yes, Ryan was indeed perpetuating and attempting to justify Nazi ideology, specifically including the myth that white individuals are better at inventing than black individuals. You denied it. You said that you have no
When
recollection
did
of that
he say
occurring.
that?
And look at it. Now even Moon is admitting that he was doing it. Moon, a Trump supporter, your friend that you asked me to bring up on the live, is indeed agreeing with me that that was something that Ryan did.
First of all, I did not agree with you. I said when I heard that term that came out, I shut down the conversation.
So, Moon, do you agree that he was trying to like explain and attempt to justify this idea that white individuals are better at inventing than black individuals?
I don't insinuate. I don't try and interpret why people say what they say. And if it
That's
goes
not why he
against the
said what he
grain,
said. That's what he
it
said.
goes against the grain of what we have to do to keep our lives up on our side of the aisle.
So you kick me instead of
Oh,
him.
you got kicked because
You like
you
to-
were
What? Make that
absolutely
make sense, man.
Ferocious, Carbon.
Yeah.
In fact,
Okay.
you were told when you came up on the live because everyone
One
told
v
me
six,
not to
one
let
v
you up.
six.
And you were
Love
cooking.
It wasn't- no,
love
no,
it.
no, no, no.
Cooking, by the way,
1v6.
Carbon.
Carbon, it's 1v1. You have to be respectful, and that's it. I don't care what other people do.
That's right.
Okay, how about this? How about this? If you're going to say that Carbon has to be respectful, then don't platform a goddamn Nazi. Isn't that a fair ultimate? Isn't that a fair
He's
middle
not.
of the road?
That's
Isn't
too
that
much
a
to
fair
ask
middle
for
of
them,
the
dude.
road?
Now,
No,
see, that-
he's
I-
not.
I don't know.
That was one of
I
the
don't know.
reasons why Carbon was removed last night for saying that same thing, that we don't have the opportunity to speak freely. Even with the above 18 filter on our side, we don't get to speak like adults. So I have to go play nursemaid, and that's unfortunate. But if we can have a free and open discussion, then yeah, we get to talk like adults. We just don't have that on our
It
side.
looks like somebody else wants to join in this conversation. They specifically have comments that they'd like to address towards you, Montana. Take it away, Santana.
Yeah, no, listen. So yesterday, as Carbon was on Montana's panel, I just happened to hop in, and it makes sense that Montana is justifying Nazis because the way she leaned into absolute racism was amazing.
Wow,
Like
how is
for
that?
her,
How is that,
for
Santana?
her, the way that you sat there and talked about black people getting drunk and then going to church, they're out partying
Mhm.
all night and then going to church the next
Yep.
morning, and you said you only saw that in black churches.
Yep.
Like, what are we doing?
Actually,
Yep.
she didn't. She said white people
Oh,
do the
no,
same
no,
thing.
that's
no.
exactly
No,
what she
how-
said.
no.
Oh, we
go
got
ahead
that
and,
clip.
and say, go ahead, Carbon, please stop. Go ahead and say the rest, please, of what I said. Go ahead, Santana.
Yeah, you said, oh, I love the church the most, and then the preacher was upset, and that's why he kept passing around the
What? That
collection
is
plate.
not what I said, Santana.
What did you say,
at all.
Montana?
You
What did
have
you say?
a horrible, horrible memory.
Carbon. Am
It's
I
a
wrong?
ridiculous
She
memory.
specifically said, because we brought up black churches, and she said,
Uh-huh.
you know what? Speaking of black churches, we're talking about like
Because we were
just the
talking
night
about
before they were drinking, yada yada. And I've only ever seen that at a black church. And the way she said black, oh
Nope,
my
that's
god,
not what I said.
it brought the visions back. I'll tell you that much.
I know.
Like
She brought the
did it
vision
really?
back.
Wow. Did it really? Because that's not what I
yeah,
said.
it's all right. It's all
Okay,
right.
No,
I'll
what-
tell
what-
you.
yeah,
that's
Carbon,
funny.
you and
I got a
this is
video
the
cooking
reason
on
why
my
I
YouTube.
don't
It's
have
funny.
any
I like
respect for you whatsoever, and that's not what I said. What I was
What did you
we
say,
were
Montana?
talking about the hypocrisy of the church, and so and we were talking about it, and I said, yeah, and so we were talking about the church and the hypocrisy, and then I went on saying about and so when you go in a black church when you go and they all come in because this came out of the pastor's mouth, by the way.
Why are you stuttering,
This
Montana?
came out of
Just-
the pastor's
Let it out.
mouth.
Calling
yeah,
a
just let the
conversation,
story go.
Santana. Why don't you let her answer?
Yeah.
Hey, Moon, no one's speaking to you.
I'm speaking to
You have to know
you.
your role. Go ahead, Montana.
She
So
kicked
what
me
I
5
what I
times. Just
said
bringing up
was,
your-
and again, this came out of the pastor's mouth, and he said, "Yeah, you guys like to go out and party Saturday night, come in here all drunk and hungover, and then you won't put anything in the plate." And he passes the plate around and around and around, and so he passes it over and over because if you have time to go out and party on a Saturday night and go clubbing, then you can go ahead and put money in the plate.
Oh, listen.
Why
what
did you
we
say
were
that you
talking
only saw
about.
that at black churches?
Yeah. Can I hop in here for 30 seconds? That is like the most past your fucking shit I've ever heard ever. The fact that a Christian
God,
pastor
that's what
just
my
allow
experience
me
was.
allow me to finish speaking. like the idea of a Christian pastor being like, oh, all of you guys got so drunk last night, and now today you're not giving my church any money, is like the most Christian pastor thing I've ever heard. Why make it specifically about black individuals that go to church? What the
Because
hell?
that's where
So
I
the reason, no,
experienced it at.
the reason why they were doing that is because there was a guy on her live trying to justify the reason why black individuals are, in the position that they're in is because they don't lean into their religion because they don't follow Jeebus, right? The whole reason that black individuals in the country are behind is
Oh.
because we're not religious enough. That was their point.
Oh, hey,
No, we were
guess
talking
what?
about
Guess what,
how
Manton?
religious, that the Carbon brought that up actually and said on how that the Black Americans are the
Unbelievable.
most religions, right? Isn't that what you said, Carbon?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
I'd like to
So
point
then
out.
I
Yeah,
said,
you,
then
you
I
said
went
you were
ahead
giving them a
and I
solution. Your
gave
solution
you
for
my-
African Americans was religion. I'm like, wait, why? If
Yeah,
they're one of the
and
most
so,
religious
yeah,
groups
by
in
No,
the
the
country.
way,
we were
it was-
not. There.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, whatever his name is,
Hey.
the Yahtzee, the degenerate. Yeah.
Hey, guess what?
Uh-huh.
Guess what?
Did
On
you-
what continent is the Catholic Church only being kept in numbers of growth by right now?
United States.
A, United States isn't a continent, silly goose. And B, no, it's not North America, it's Africa. Okay?
Absolutely.
And then B, I'd also like to point out, do you know what lent a very large hand to chattel slavery in American history?
Exactly.
Leaning into that damn Bible. Leaning into that
That-
damn Bible. Let me tell you about that real quick. So, chattel slavery in American history was onset by a multiplicity of factors, but most by Christian evangelists that leaned into Mosaic law and the teaching of the Old Testament as it relates to Leviticus 25, where God explicitly ordains and upholds chattel slavery as it relates to an Israelite enslaving a non-Israelite. And in fact, they leaned into it so hard that they gave...
Leviticus what?
ens-
What did you say? Leviticus what?
Leviticus 25 verses 44 through 46. And they leaned into it so hard that they gave slaves
the Old
in American history these quote unquote slave Bibles that reduced the Bible down to sections like Leviticus 25, sections like some of Paul's letters to the apostles that explicitly uphold and moralize slavery to attempt to convince them that that was their role as ordained by the Creator, that was what they are supposed to be doing.
I can read the Declaration of Causes, just a little excerpt from it, from when Texas seceded from the state. Right here, it says, we hold as undeniable truths that all the governments of the various states and the Confederacy itself were established exclusively by the white race, for them, themselves, and their posterity, that the African race had no agency in their establishment, that they were rightfully held and regarded as an inferior independent race. Government actors, by the way, writing this, and in that condition only could their existence in this country be rendered beneficial or tolerable, that in this free government all white men are and of right ought to be entitled to the equal civil and political acts as granted by the will of the Almighty Creator, as recognized by all Christian nations. Official Texas secession document there.
So my question would be, Montana, if religion, specifically Christianity, has been a tool of oppression for Black people for years, why would we need to lean into religion even more to have any type of progression, especially understanding that religion is quite literally one of the reasons why the country as a whole, but different parts of science has not progressed. It's because of Christianity. So why would we lean into Christianity? Like, why would Black people ever want to lean into Christianity? That's not a solution for us.
Why not?
Well, for the
Did
reasons
you
that we
listen
just
to
described.
anything
Just
that was
told
just
you.
said? So you didn't listen. Cool. Got it. All right. That's all you had to say. You didn't listen to anything.
Yeah, for the, isn't it fair to say, Montana, that it's maybe not like the end all, save all, be all. Also, it's not like Christian teachings are even upheld in American politics today in the first place. Like when you read Psalms, specifically Psalms 23, what do you read about? Okay, this idea that if you give to those that are more needy than yourself, you'll be given great glory in the kingdom of God. What about Matthew 21, where Jesus says that it is harder for a rich man to get into the kingdom of heaven than it is for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle? Or how he made Matthew, let me ask you, who's Matthew?
He's an apostle.
He was an apostle of Jesus. And what did Jesus
Yeah.
and what did Jesus make Matthew do in order to become an apostle?
What did Jesus, I don't recall. Why don't you tell me?
Matthew was a tax collector. Jesus's one rule for Matthew, in order for Matthew to become a follower of his church, was to stop being a goddamn tax collector. So we see like these ideologies pushed all throughout the Bible, Old Testament and New, about socialism, almost about providing to those in which need provided to. Taxation of the poor is morally decrepit, and if you are rich, you're not going to heaven. But then the way that we see Christianity upheld in modern day America is the exact opposite. Trump says, let's put God back in the nation, the Bible back in school, but then turns around and what? Advocates for aggressive economic policy in which taxes you more the less you make. He is a part of a party that has never passed any policy that served disproportionately to the interests of low-income Americans. And since the beginning of his first term in 2017, he hasn't passed one policy designed for low-income Americans.
Really?
Yeah,
Not one.
not one. Name it.
Wow. Well, what about the Jobs Act and what about the jobs?
CCJA.
Yeah.
CCJA.
Yeah, great. So the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, 80% of the cuts in the bill went to members of the top 1%. Out of the entire $1.9 trillion spent on the bill, $1 trillion of that went to the most wealthy income earners, and it didn't trickle down either. We, in fact, have a study from Brookings that indicated that there was no new macro-level business investment consequential of the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. So no, that is not a bill in which was designed for low-income Americans. Thank you so much.
How did they generate $6,000 a year more in income for the lowest of income earners? 2019.
So you, actually, that's not
Let
for
me
the lowest
explain
of
that
income
one.
earners. That's the
It
average
was.
American, right? And I didn't say 100% of the cuts in the bill went to the top 1%, meaning that 20% of the cuts in the bill did go to the 99, including an additional $6,000 per year as reported by the IRS. But this doesn't mean that it disproportionately benefited that average American. In fact, it still disproportionately benefited said top 1%. So no, that's not an
Kind of
answer to my
weird.
question.
The top 1% earn what percent of all federal revenue right now?
45.
22.
They pay 45 or 22?
No, they pay 45%. Yeah, so you had one of the numbers correct. So they earn 22% of the federal revenue, right? So income earning United States of America, top 1% make 22% of the revenue.
Are
They pay
you talking
44%.
GDP? Oh wait, what revenue? Okay, because like private citizens, they don't earn government revenue. What is
The
that?
United States of America, right? There would be considered income, right? Take the whole income.
I'm confused of what you're saying.
I know you are. That's what I'm trying to.
They earn 22% of what?
Wait. Are you referring to specifically like how much those higher
Income.
earners are
Top
being paid?
1% income, 22%.
Wait.
Right?
Okay, so you do understand that individuals like Elon Musk, their wealth isn't tied up in their actual quote unquote salary, right? The amount of money that they're being paid, most of their money goes into different areas like capital gains, where they can actually circumvent a lot of taxes. You
Did
do
I say-
understand that, right?
Santana, did I say income?
No.
That's what I'm trying to verify. What are you saying? You're
Income. When
talking
you
all
make
over.
income, right? How do you consider income in
Oh
your
yeah,
world?
like reported income. Capital gains
You.
is I don't know. According to the IRS, is
22%, 1% are the top 1%. That's what I said.
oh, and what
They
percentage?
pay 45% of the federal
percentage of the
taxes, like
capital?
you stated.
What percentage of the capital do they own?
I don't know. Is it
Eight-
44%?
85.
50%?
85.
50%?
80.
Yeah.
85.
That wouldn't surprise me. And what does that have to do with income and paying taxes?
Well, I think that my claim is right now we have levels of income and inequality in our country.
Wouldn't
that-
doubt it. Simplify the tax code.
Would you
I have
allow
no
me to
problem.
finish speaking?
It's your live, yeah, no problem.
We have levels of income inequality in America that are comparable to France before the French Revolution. And when we see tax policy that only further increases that income inequity, serves to the better interests of that top 1% while serving to the disservice disproportionately so of the bottom 80, I just think that's only further going to regress our country. It's only going to further reduce average qualities of lives. It's only further going to increase that income gap, and it's only going to make our economy less productive, and that's the cherry on top. This is why I really liked Kamala Harris's tax plan that was designed for 100 million American workers in that low and the middle class, and it's so sad that we had to miss out on that
Explain her
because of
tax
Trump
plan.
supporters.
Explain her
Yeah,
tax plan.
please explain it.
Yeah, for sure. So according to the CBO, her tax plan A was estimated to cost around $4 trillion.
No. I don't want the CBO. I want you to explain it.
So I am explaining it.
Then don't stop reading it.
I'm not reading
You're
it.
telling me what the CBO uses.
Or
and
reading.
objection.
Yeah. So the first part of explaining the tax plan is to explain how much the tax plan would cost, right? Is that fair
Yeah,
for me
but
to
you
say?
do that with 23 Nobel laureates who were all Keynesian thinking. New Keynesian, by the way, not
Have
old
I,
Keynesian.
have I referenced a single Nobel laureate?
No, I have done the study on her tax plan as well. That's why I'm asking you to explain it in your own words.
I
if
was
you
in the
can.
middle of explaining it, and you told me
Well,
to
sorry
stop
for interrupting.
explaining
I'll
it.
let you go.
So
Sorry
according
for
to the CBO, first, her tax plan was estimated to cost around $4 trillion. Now, what that $4 trillion would have been expensed on is tax cuts for 100 million American workers in the low and the middle class. Explanations of what those cuts would have specifically looked like was, for instance, massive increases in the child tax credit. She wanted to increase it to $5,000 for anyone from the age of a newborn to 1, $3,500 from the ages of 1 to 5, and $3,000 from 5 to 17. Keep in mind the reason why this was a good idea is because after we had an increase in the child tax cut under Biden's first policy, the American Rescue Plan, we did a 40% reduction in childhood poverty. Another explanation of other cuts offered is to cap the amount that any American citizen could pay for private out-of-pocket pharmaceuticals to $2,000 per year, which was some healthcare policy compared to the zero healthcare policy that Donald Trump had. Another explanation of the cuts that she had included within her policy included a $25,000 subsidy for first-time homebuyers buying newly developed properties, as well as other miscellaneous cuts, in which I might not be able to itemize, as well as which I might not be able to itemize specifically, but it did include things like tax cuts for income earners making under $100,000 and other services targeted specifically for the average American and low-income earners.
Wow, where in the hell did you see? Where are you reading all of this from?
Well, I'm not reading it. I have it memorized.
Yeah, he does have it memorized. I've heard him say it 1,000 times. The funny part is on the $6,000, that was hers, not 5,000. Trump's was 5,000.
Oh, great. So
Yeah.
she's even better than I said. That's awesome.
No, it actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Your math is. I mean, it's close. However, what you're still doing is you're doing a projection.
Oh, looks like Moon went bye-bye. While Moon is going bye-bye, I need to thank a couple people.
Well, he just had a phone call.
Nicholas,
that
thank
said
you
he's
so much
back.
for the $30 over on Venmo. Nicholas
Why
says,
did
I
I
don't
go
agree with
bye-bye?
you on most things, but
Oh,
Republicans and Democrats
God.
need to come together. That's so real. Thank you, Nicholas. Everybody show some love to Nicholas down below. That is Niklas with the $30. Lenny, thank you for the $15 over on Venmo. That is Lenny. Thank you so much for the love, Lenny. And then Claudia, thank you for the $100 donation on Venmo. Holy fuck, Claudia. Claudia says, listen to you daily. You're doing so much important work during this insane administration, and it's so appreciated. Thank you for the love, Claudia. Holy fuck. Everybody, please show some love to Claudia down below for the $100 over on Venmo. I'd also like to thank Nathan for the $5 on PayPal, Workology for the $5 over on PayPal, Brandy with the $3, and Adam with $100 on PayPal. And I will not read your message, Adam. I did see that you wanted me to keep it to myself, so I will. Let's get 1,000 Adam W's, 1,000 Claudia W's, and 500 Veteran W's for another $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Veteran says, Boomer, X and Wire, Jew, gay, and I wave all those flags you, Dean, are fighting for on all fronts for me. Mad respect. Veteran, I love you so much. Thank you for the $50. Alongside Claudia and Adam. Guys, please show some love to all of the donors down below in the chat. You guys do
my
not know how much I
God.
genuinely appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. What is that reaction, Montana? What are you, oh my God?
It's just, oh my God.
Oh, you pocket watching Montana? That's what's happening.
Oh dear God, no.
They do that. That's weird.
I'm not a
Why is
fucking
that?
grifter, dude.
Oh, you think I'm a grifter?
Stop making money. Give me all those. Give me that 5.3 now. If you're not a grifter, let's go.
Shit, I'd rather give it to a
Although,
dog
since I
instead
just
of
threw
you.
the last galaxy, I don't think it was meant for you.
Wait, Montana, why do you think I'm a grifter?
Oh my Lord. Let's just stop.
No.
Answer the question.
I mean, you know what? You could be a little bit more humble when people. It's
Let's
just
see.
the way you react. It doesn't
Grifter.
matter.
Dean, did you come out here and not do
Boy,
a
so
fundraiser
so
for your
him
mom's carpet?
Incredibly thankful.
him actually being grateful for people willing to actually donate their hard-earned money is a negative reaction. I mean, you do
For
understand
his
that
mom's
Donald Trump
apartment?
is actually devastating this country and the economy, and for anyone to send any type of donations, I think that it
Yeah,
deserves to
how
be
are we ruining
celebrated.
this
So
country,
I'm really
Santana?
confused. Well, again,
You are
the way
confused,
that
for
he's
sure.
devastating this actual country and economy, anytime anyone donates, it's a thing to be celebrated. So stop
Yeah.
hating, stop pocket watching.
Dean,
And-
do you
I
not
saw the
remember your
crazy.
Pocket
I saw
watching.
the
I'm
fundraiser
not
for
best
your mom?
pocket
comment. I saw the. I'm
watching.
sorry. I just saw the best comment. You voted for the biggest grifter of all time, so I don't want to hear anything.
Really? How's that?
And then I also
Didn't
like,
he just have a crypto dinner?
yeah, like
He
fucking
sure
crypto
did.
dinner.
He
Yeah,
sure
you're talking about
did.
grifters.
It's the
Also,
best thing ever.
also,
And
I just
hopefully you guys are, I'm sure you're not invested in XRP and in HBAR. And
Oh,
I'm
so
sure
you
you
fell
guys
for the
are,
grift.
right?
Okay.
So
actually, hey,
you're,
I'd
yeah,
actually
you
like to
better.
clarify.
I
I'd
hope
actually,
you're not. I hope you're not invested, are you? You're
I'd
not
actually,
invested in
I,
any crypto,
I'd actually
right,
like to
Corbin?
clarify.
Right, Santana?
Of course
I'm
not.
gonna
Not
go.
yours.
I'm gonna go get my ledger. I'll be right back.
The meme coin.
Yes,
Yeah.
get your look.
Okay, make sure that you're not invested in any crypto whatsoever. But I
I will
bet you
make sure,
are.
ma'am. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
So do you
whatever.
know what this is?
Don't even
Oh,
don't
goodness.
don't
What could that be?
So
Jeez.
this is a ledger, and what a ledger is, it's a cold wallet for cryptocurrency. Now you may ask me,
Wow.
why do I
Wow.
have this cold wallet for cryptocurrency? It's because I've been invested in crypto since I was like 16 years old, and let me tell you something about my crypto investments
Oh.
since his inauguration start. I've lost 40% of my portfolio's net worth because of his administration so far. And
Well,
then
I haven't.
also,
That's
I think I
interesting.
want to point it out that you're calling me a grifter. I think at the end of the day, I think that you're just pissed that individuals see what I do here on TikTok, here on YouTube, and they support it out of the kindness of their heart. You wish you could be me, okay? And because you can't, you take that out and these
wish I
silly
could be
little
you.
Lord
snarky
Jesus,
comments,
that
and
I'm
that
not.
and that's
Thank you,
and that's the
God, that I
reality.
am not.
But
Thank
Sid,
God
thank
I'm
you
not
so much
you.
for the $100
I would
over on
never-
YouTube
I
as well.
would
Thank you for the $100 on
never.
YouTube, Sid, supporting a good grift. Thank you for the $100, Sid.
Okay.
Let's get 1,000
I-
Sid W's down
I-
below in that chat.
Montana,
Yeah.
Montana, I don't think you understand when you complain about like his income. That makes people more
I wasn't
likely to give
complaining.
him. You know that,
Nobody
right?
complained
I
about his
don't
income.
really care. I
Yeah,
didn't
it sounds
complain
like
about
You're
his
right.
Sounds
income.
like you're
Wait,
glad to
Carbon.
hurt
They
them.
Carbon. To be fair, they were
Yeah,
not
you really
complaining.
don't understand English
They
very
were.
well, do
They
you?
were. They were not complaining. They were pocket watching. It's a
There
different
you
thing.
go.
It's
Pocket
weird. It's
watching.
weird. That's what they were doing. It's weird. They want to
Dude,
control
I
the
don't have.
donations that people are sending,
Oh
and
my
it's a
God!
strange
No, I'm
thing.
not.
Chris,
No,
thank you for the
I'm not.
$10 over on Venmo
Like
for the
all I
grift.
was
And
saying
Lacey,
is
thank
that
you for
you
the
could be a
$5
little
over
bit more
Venmo as well
humble
for the
about
gift.
it. That's all I'm saying. Yelling in my fucking ear.
Okay, I'm sorry for yelling in your ear, but I just like I'm not gonna lie. I get viscerally excited and happy when somebody like donates, for instance, like
I'm
$100.
sure you do.
And honestly, I think like the worst argument that you could possibly have for this idea that I'm a grifter is when
You are
people
a
give their
grifter.
money to me, I get excited. Come
I
on,
bet you
really?
do.
Come on, really? And
yeah,
thank you for the
sure, I would
$20
get
over on the
exci-
YouTube super
I
chat.
would
Thank
get
you for the love,
excited
man. That's
too.
incredibly kind of you. Of course you would. Any reasonable person would.
Dear
Hi,
Lord.
thank you for the 100 yen over on YouTube super chat. Hi, as well as the $20. And Charles, thank you for the $5 over on super chat as well.
I am not jealous. I have nothing to be jealous about.
You
I don't
you,
want your
you
dirty
sound like
money.
it, Montana.
Like, why?
Absolutely
You sound
not.
like it.
I like you're
I have
like
no
trying to
reason
convince
to be
yourself of
jealous.
that. Honestly,
Mhm.
No, I'm not. You don't know anything about me. None of you. No,
Uh-huh.
absolutely
Coral, thank you for the
nothing about me.
$20 over on super chat. Thank you for the love, Coral. 200 Coral W's down below. All right, what do you
Well,
guys want to talk
Listen,
about?
don't be wasting my time. And so
I
we're
think
either
there's
going to
two things
continue
that
on
I do.
debating or
There's two
I'm going
things
to
that
leave.
I do know. There's two things that I do know. One, I know that you platform racist, right? And you're accepting of it. And two, you're a pocket
No, I
watcher.
do not.
So I know those
No.
two things
Oh,
about
now
you.
I'm a pocket watcher.
Like,
You don't know anything about me,
Emmanuel,
two
thank you for
things.
the
Santana. I've
Those
never,
two
$20.
things.
I
$10
have
over.
never,
Dean, I
ever
appreciate the
even
time that
seen
you
you.
gave me up here after I treated you
Mhm.
rudely yesterday, but I'm not going to get into these types of conversations where you've
Yeah,
got
no
people
shit.
going to start calling people
Mhm.
racist. So you
Yeah.
enjoy your day. I
Wait,
appreciate
wait,
you.
wait,
I hope
Moon.
you
Wait,
Yeah.
wait, who?
Can't-
Yeah.
Wait, Moon, who do
Yeah.
we call
Before-
racist?
We're not going to do this.
Dude,
We're not going to sit here and do
this is
this
a
shit
you
with you
thing,
people.
bud. I don't
Yeah.
get into this. you
Moon.
got an issue with people about
Moon.
being racist, whatever.
Don't drop
I'm
yet.
out
Don't drop
on
yet.
that.
Let me speak. Let me speak. Okay. Like, I just want to ask you. So, why is your red line where you just got to completely exit the conversation? Conversations about racism. All right. But then, like, I don't know. What was it? 3 minutes ago, you were trying to call me a grifter.
People want to know what a
One
pocket
second,
watcher
Montana.
is. What is that?
I would appreciate it if you'd allow me a minute to speak, Montana.
First of all, the
But
thing
then,
that I
Moon,
that I
you're
talked to you
interrupting
about-
me too. The reason why I stopped speaking is because Montana interrupted me. Sorry, not Montana. Yes, Montana interrupted me, and I just appreciate the ability to finish. But then, like 3 minutes ago, you were calling me a grifter because I was
You are a
accepting
grifter.
donations to help out my mom with the fact
Why
that
are
her
you
house
he-
flooded
why are
and
you
she
on
couldn't pay
here?
for it herself.
Why are you on here? Why do you have your Venmo? Why do you have your PayPal? Why do
Yeah.
you have your Cash App?
So I could
Why?
spend 4 hours a day shitting on people like you, not 2
Oh,
with a
okay,
part-time
but
job.
why do you have your Venmo? Why do you have your PayPal? And why do you have your Cash App up here?
So people
why
can
do you
support
need to
me.
have that? Why can't
Tree, thank you
coins
for the
be enough for
$10
you?
over on Venmo. I
Why
appreciate you so
can't
much for
coins
the
be
love.
enough for you then if you're not grifting?
Wait, one
You're full
second.
of shit.
Wait, 1 second.
You're full of shit.
You think that
You are full of shit.
you
That
think
is the
that-
reason why you have your Cash App and your PayPal and your Venmo.
Okay, well, first and foremost, all right, you think that TikTok is ran and operated
And
by
just give you all of this. No, it's bullshit, and you're a liar.
somebody's getting upset. You got some big emotions.
I am getting upset.
I don't
'Cause I'm
understand what's
sick of
like the
you-
relevant difference between Venmo and coin.
Like I said, Dean,
Oh,
thank you.
really?
Other than
Well,
the
if you're
fact,
not- if you're-
other than the percentage,
It's been a
of it,
great
what's like the
proposal.
Yeah,
difference
hey,
for you
hey,
that,
Moon.
that makes like a
Yeah.
moral, like it's some sort of moral
Yeah.
argument she's presenting.
No,
here, right?
yeah. So no, just answer
Hey,
that.
Jesse,
wait,
thank
let
you
me
for the-
say-
If that was
Thank you for the
if that was
$25 on
case,
Venmo for the
right?
grift, Jesse.
So,
Shailene,
I'm
thank you for the
out.
$20 on the
Bye.
PayPal for the grift. Thank you
Bye.
so much, Shailene and Jesse. I really appreciate you guys. As well as Muffins with a $20 over on YouTube Super Chat as well for the grift. Let's go. Oh, we're grifted so hard today. Gotta love it. Gotta love
Yeah.
it.
Paige, thank you so
No.
much for the $50 on Venmo. Shout out to the Grift Club. Keep fighting.
Hell
The
yeah.
good fight,
Yeah,
man.
no. W's in the chat for
Big hugs. Thank you
Angela.
so-
Thank you for the $10 so you can get in on the grifter cheer. I appreciate you, Angela. Thank you so much.
By the way,
Listen,
go ahead.
go ahead, Dean.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was trying to Moon if you can still hear me. I got this text, Dean, and this was when you guys were having the actual conversation around like religion and money and all this other stuff. But someone said to have him read Acts 4:34 through 35, and it was just talking about how they actually had people take their property, their land, and stuff like that, sell it, and bring the money to the apostles. So there wouldn't be any needy people among them. So
Yeah,
want
no,
to get
spot
that
on.
off.
Spot on. Yeah, the Bible
I don't
definitely
know.
advocates for socialism, 110%. By the way, if you're MAGA, let me know down below in that chat. I'm going to get you up on the live right now.
Yeah, and let me one more before I'm gonna get out of here. Shailene, thank you so much for the $10.
Yo!
Let's fucking go. Not gonna lie, that scared me. Not gonna lie. That
Oh
scared
my
me.
God. I've never seen that in my life.
Mm-mm.
I have
That's
never. Who
fucking
was
awesome.
that?
Witch
That's fucking
King!
awesome.
Dude, you
Oh,
can't, you
that's my
can't,
guy.
you can't do that. Oh my God. You gotta stop. Thank you. Thank you for the TikTok universe, Mr. Witch King. Oh my God. Yo, guys, can we please get, oh my God, let's get W Witch Kings down below in that chat for at least the next 10 minutes for the TikTok universe. Oh my God. Thank you so much for the love, Witch King. I love you. We all love you. Dude, everybody, please show some love to Witch King. But just that is too much. That is simply too much, man. I do really appreciate you though. Please show some love to Witch King down below in the chat, literally right now. I do not deserve that though. But W fucking Witch King down below for at least the next 10 minutes. Thank you so much. Thank you, Witch King. Guys, chat, show them some love. And take
Witch
it
King
away.
is awesome.
Take it away, Santana.
No, I'm gonna get out here one more. Kyleen, thank you so much for the $10 for the grifting. I appreciate you so much. Thank you all, Dean. I love you, Carbon. I love you. I'll see you guys later. Have a good one.
Have a good one,
Hey,
Santana.
Dan, I'll get out your hair. I don't think you saw last night when I asked Montana about this because I was running the problem of evil, the logical problem of evil. And she said her response specifically was that the only women who don't get raped are the ones who come to Christ.
Oh, Thank you for letting me know.
I think we have it clipped. I think
thank-
somebody has it clipped. So
Thank you for letting everybody know.
yeah,
Well,
it was wild.
Carbon, I hope that you have a good rest of your day. And I really appreciate you as well, Santana, for coming up and talking to Montana and Moon. Last night when I was watching her live, I was pissed. And honestly, I feel like fucking vindicated after having them up here in front of over like 9,000 people at a point, to just be able to like fucking call them out. That felt good. Sometimes having a platform feels great.
Yeah.
But I hope they have a good rest of your day, Carbon. And that's seriously so disgusting.
Thank you for bringing me up. I appreciate you, man.
Of course,
Take it
man.
easy.
Take care. We're going to move on to the next guest. Y'all keep those W's in the chat coming for Witch King. If you're in that queue, make sure that means that you support Trump. And also, guys, please show some love to Carbon and Santana. They are both really phenomenal debaters. Really phenomenal debaters. I learn a lot from them both. They're great. Let me tell you, they're great. But yeah, let's go and get that next guest up here. Make sure if you are in that queue that you're MAGA. And honestly, if you just want to skip that queue, skip the 100 people down there and come straight up on the live, go ahead and spam a MAGA down below in that chat. What's going on, Tyler? How old are you? Okay, well, it doesn't even look like Tyler's here, so we're going to move on to the next guest. Where are the Trump supporters at, everybody? Where are the Trump supporters at, everybody? Trump is king. What's up? How are you? Oh my God, it's been a while. I hope that you're well. Hope that you're well, Evil Dean. Hope that you're well, Evil Dean. Let's go ahead and move on to the next guest. Let's go and get Colton up in the box. Everybody, we're going to go to get Colton up in the box literally right now. Everyone, just do be patient while we get that next guest up here. Where are the Trump supporters? I don't really see anybody spamming MAGA down below. And make sure if you are in that queue, make sure if you are spamming MAGA down below in that comment section, that it means that you're at least 18, you're from America, and you're just here to talk to me about why you support the president. We have a lot of trolls that like to join the queue. We have a lot of liberals that like to join the queue. We have a lot of fetuses that like to join the queue. But at the end of the day, we are here to talk to people that support Trump. What is going on? Oh, and they left as well. Seriously, really hard to find a Trump supporter. Oh my goodness. We got T loading in. We got history and facts loading in. What's up, T? How old are you? Okay, T's not here. History, what's up? How old are you? History, are you not here either? Stephanie, what about you? How old are you?
I'm here. Okay, I'm not a MAGA supporter, but my dad is.
Yeah, is
Would you?
your dad with you?
No, but would you want to do it at a later live?
Yes, Stephanie. If I ever just seriously spam MAGA in that chat and request up like you just did when you have your dad with you, I'll happily accept you and have a conversation. Let's go and get that next guest up in here, y'all. Let's go and get that next guest up in here, you guys. We are seriously just looking for the next Trump supporter. And honestly, quite frankly, they're hard to fucking find. Let me tell you guys, it has been so hard for me to find Trump supporters.
Good afternoon, Dean.
Hey, what's going on? How old are you?
I'm 21. I was born in 03.
Nice. Do you support Trump?
I do to a point. Like, I support him to a point.
Really?
You know
What's
what I mean? I
up?
don't agree with the abortion laws.
Abortion laws. Okay. Real quick, what
Yes.
month were you born in?
December 15th.
December 15th. Do you work a job?
I do. I'm a waitress.
Really? What's a W-2?
Pardon?
What's a W-2?
What do you mean? What's a W-2?
It's just like further age verification questions. Like,
I can send you a photo of my ID. Like,
do you know what a W-2 is?
no, I don't actually.
Okay. Like, chat, what's the consensus here? Do you feel like somebody that like works in the service industry would like know what a W-2 is?
I haven't been working that long. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay. Do you have a driver's license?
No, I do not.
Okay. Okay. What's a mortgage?
Something you put down for a house.
Or what's a 1099?
I'm not sure, man. Like,
Okay. I don't know. I'll believe you. I'll believe you. I will. I don't know. Let me check the account. Let me see if like there's anything on the account that may like identify that you're underage. Oh no. Let's see here. I believe you. Okay.
I think I only have one post on this account.
Yeah. Okay. I will. I'll believe you, I guess. So yeah, why do you think abortion's wrong? Or I guess why do you support Trump because of abortion?
Well, I support Trump because of some of like the choices he's making for.
Could you please turn the Mac DeMarco off? You don't deserve him. Okay, they really didn't like that.
I'm flabbergasted.
You heard me. You heard me. Sorry.
Oh my god.
You don't deserve him.
What music do I deserve then, dude?
I don't know. Go turn on some like Chris Stapleton. Wait, actually, no, he hates Trump too. Not even him. What about some Morgan Wallen? Yeah, go turn on some Morgan Wallen.
Okay, one second.
What about some Zach Bryan?
Oh yes. Hey Google, play Zach Bryan.
Oh God, no, we're not gonna. Okay, that was a joke. Turn him off. Turn him off. Turn him
Oh
off.
my god.
What about some Kid Rock?
Okay, no, we're just not gonna have music.
Okay, so why do you support his his abortion policy?
I don't support his immigration policy. That's why, like, I feel like I would support Trump 100% if he didn't have like his views on abortion.
So
'Cause
why
I
do you,
think-
why do you
I'm
support his
pro-choice.
abortion views?
I don't.
So then what do you support?
I support his immigration laws.
Okay, what about them?
I just think that, like, I'm trying to remember the statistics. I had all my screenshots pulled up. Hold on.
Oh dear Lord. Okay. Oh, this is great. This is a great conversation that we're having here. Truly phenomenal. Truly great, guys.
I'm sorry. I'm nervous. I'm a big fan of you.
I think she's trolling. We're going to move on to the next guest. We got Tubster loading up into the box. And while we got Tubster loading up, I'm going to thank a handful of people. Yo, Sid, thank you for the $50 on Venmo. Thank you, Sid. Sid says, Montana would hate to know my past here. Bro, yo, Queen Sid for real. Guys, show some love to Sid for the $50 donation. As well as Claudia. Thank you so much for the $50 over on Venmo. Thank you so much for the love, Claudia. Claudia says, Grifters tip. Let's go. We're getting paid today. Sid and Claudia, thank you both. Thank you both, Sid and Claudia. As well as Woods, thank you for the $20 over on PayPal, and Adam with 100. Thank you so much for the love, Adam and Woods. Oh my God, let's get 1,000 W Adams and 200 W Woods, and then also KRUNC with the 280 Canadian dollars over on the YouTube stream. Holy shit, KRUNC. Yo, let's get 5,000 KRUNCWs down below in the chat for the 280 Canadian dollars. But I do want to read this off because they added a message that said I'm broke. Okay, I want to make it clear. I have a really hard time accepting donations from people that do not have that disposable income to spare. So KRUNC, I really appreciate you for your kindness. I really appreciate you for your generosity. But on a real fucking note, if you want to privately message me like after the stream on like Instagram or anywhere else, I will give that money back to you, and I will not say a word to anybody. Just because I seriously do have a really hard time accepting donations from people that do not have disposable income to share. But I want to say, I do really think that is incredibly kind of you, KRUNC. Please, everybody, seriously, I want to show so much love to KRUNC down below in that chat, literally right now. I really do appreciate it. That's fucking insane. Like, that's so much goddamn money. Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you guys for the love. What is up, Grayson?
Yo, he said to me again. No way, bro.
Oh my God, it's a fetus once again. Jesus Christ. Goodbye, Mr. Fetus.
Frick you, man.
Frick you too, fetus. Yeah, that's right. Beefing with kids. That's a great look. God, I need to chill. Moving on to the next guest. Here we go, everybody. Let's go to get that next guest up in the box right now. Go to drop a maggot down below in that comment section if you do want to come up in debate, y'all. Go to drop a maggot down below in that comment section if you do want to come up in debate. Where is that next guest, y'all? Where's that next guest? We got David loading in. What's up, David? How old are you, man?
I'm 21.
Nice. Do you support Trump, David?
Yes, sir.
Oh, David.
Yes, sir.
Oh, hell no. Why do you support such a train wreck of a presidency?
Well, all the friends that I've ever had have supported them, and I supported the Republican Party, and I really I don't know. I really do not question anything they say, because anytime I try to defend them, anytime I defend the other side, I end up not getting it exactly right, and so I don't know. I support him because everyone that I've known has ever they support him.
Okay, well, David, listen, that's probably the same reason why I supported Trump when I was 14. Not gonna lie. I hope that you could recognize that, like, you were literally describing and defining like mob mentality. I think that this is probably a better life for you to watch compared to debate, because I can't just like debate mob mentality. I can just advise against it.
No, I think you know nothing about how real life works, and so I'd love to debate you.
Bro, what? Why would you say that? What?
You're blindly following. It's obvious.
Is this a troll?
No, I mean it's obvious just from your character and everything. You're just
You just told me
I
that
mean,
you blindly follow MAGA. You literally told me that explicitly.
yeah, Dean. Well, you're comfortable. You got a globe in the back. You got nice wooden furniture. I come from a working class kind of people, and so all my friends are workers, and they're hard workers. I don't have any friends that have globes in their rooms.
You don't have any friends with globes in their rooms. Okay.
No.
Well, I'll have you know I got that from a thrift store, and I'll also have you know that this is the only room in my house with a globe in it because it's my studio and my background has to look good.
Yeah, see, I don't have friends that have studio backgrounds and all that
Okay.
stuff.
Well, I
It's not how the
don't
real
have a
world
studio
works.
because I'm fucking loaded. I have a studio because I'm a full-time content creator. This is my job. Like, you have friends that go and work in an office. This is just me working in
No,
my
no, sir.
office.
All my friends work. We do oil field work.
Okay, well, oil field work actually makes a fair penny.
Yes, we do, and I'm not a content creator. See, I'm not a full-time content creator. My friends aren't full-time content
Are
creators.
you wait?
I don't.
Are you just saying that I don't really know what the real world's like because I'm a full-time content creator?
Yeah, you don't really know how the world
Okay,
works.
but out of curiosity, what is my content about?
It's about politics,
It's
Dean.
about
You're
how the
about
world works.
separating people.
It's about how the world works. Yeah, precisely.
No, it's not. It's about separating, getting people to be mad at each other online, and you. I honestly don't believe you believe what you believe.
You don't believe that I believe what I believe.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that was. But that, by the way, that was a self-refuting sentence because you're implying that I don't believe what I believe. I
Uh-huh.
believe, but like you implied in that sentence that I believe what I believe, or else I wouldn't have believed
What
what
are
I
you
believe.
saying,
Don't
dude? You
worry
see,
about
you're
it.
not even making any sense right
Don't
now.
worry about it, David. Don't worry about it, David. Don't worry about it, David. Okay. What do you want to talk about?
Well, I'd like to just debate you more on because obviously I support Trump. Why see you got mad at me for believing my friends. All of your friends probably believe what you believe.
I don't have any friends. Nah, I'm. Yeah, I don't have any. I don't have many friends. I don't have many at all. No, because
Well, Dean,
I spend
you
all
know,
day. I spend all day in my house, sitting in this chair, talking to people like you, David. My social life is down the drain. I miss it a lot. I do,
well,
but
Dean,
I
why
don't
then
have it.
why don't you stop?
Because I love what I do, and I think it's definitely a really good way for me to spend my time to make the world around me better in a way that I'm good at.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and also I'd like to clarify that growing up, all my friends were Trump supporters. My parents are both Trump supporters. My sister's a Trump supporter. Everybody in my family, except for grandparents on one side, are Trump supporters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh-huh.
75% of my county voted for Trump.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, Dean, you seem to be the black sheep of the family then.
I'm like different. Yeah, yeah, I am. That is true.
Well, Dean, I don't know if I can debate you then.
Okay, you got it, David.
Hey,
Have
well,
a
listen. I think we could be friends outside of this in real life, personally.
That's right, David. Have a good rest of your day, man. We're
Hey,
gonna go
thanks,
to move
dude.
on to the next guest. We got Z3 Shoe right here.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, man? How old are you?
I'm 18. I know my voice isn't.
What year
No,
were you born in?
I swear. I swear I am.
Okay,
I
wait,
swear
what
to
year were
God.
you born in?
2007,
What month?
January.
Okay, you would be 18.
Yeah.
Let me see. Why? Okay, my question is why do we only have like children? Sorry, you're not a children if you're 18. You're a young adult.
Yeah,
Why do we only
exactly.
have young adults requesting up?
I don't know.
Yeah, sure, whatever. I'll buy it. Why do you support Trump?
I don't. I'm a really big fan of yours, and I just like confusing to me how anyone can support what the fuck is going on. Like, it's genuinely a clown show. Like,
Yo,
You talk to these people, and they just say the most outlandish things, just one after another. Outlandish thing, outlandish thing, outlandish thing.
Yo,
Like,
this
it's
guy's
just so
base.
incredibly fucking.
Hey man,
It's just so fucking annoying. Like,
bro. Hey,
I have friends, I
bro.
have acquaintances that, like, I try to get ground on. I can make point after point after point.
Listen, man.
Nothing.
Listen, man. Your friends, other 18-year-old guys, you're gonna have a really hard time convincing them. But just know that you're on the right path. You're based as fuck. I'm gonna move on to the next guest, but go have fun in that Z3 for me, all right? Let's go to move on to the next guest. We got Barbara loading up into the end of the stream. That guy gets it. That guy gets it. That guy gets it. That guy gets it. What's going on, Barbara? Do you support Trump? Barbara's just not even here. What a day. What a day we're having today. Today has been very interesting. Today has been very interesting. Wow. Very interesting indeed. Oh my God, Steve! Thank you for the $50 on Venmo. 500 Steve W's down below. Steve says, keep up the good work. People are listening and learning from you. Steve, that is so incredibly kind. Thank you for the kind messages. We'll see $50 donation over on Venmo. 500 Steve W's. I appreciate that. You know, I try to have productive conversations. I think that those are going to be the most advantageous for people to learn. But of course, I give people the same energy they give me. So sometimes our conversations aren't that productive. What's up, Bernice? Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do. And by the way, I dislike that you took forever to put me on because I do support Trump, but I wanted to speak with Montana because, like, trust me, and I hope she's listening. She is an embarrassment for Trump supporters. Like, she should have not spoken that way because it's totally wrong, period. That there's no way of explaining how wrong it was. Now, honestly, I do support Trump. Me as a Hispanic, I consider myself a minority. And the reason I support Trump is because the fairness to legal immigrants. It's very hard to make a point when people do not understand this matter, because while some immigrants that are illegal are taking our jobs when we are legal immigrants or we're just American citizens or whatever it is, they are actually getting paid a lot less for something that it's part of what we do legally. You know what I mean? So that's why I support those deportations. However, the way things are getting done is just like a family. You have good family members, you have bad family members. Religion, you have good religion people, good the ones that are not doing it good. And politics is the same way. You got those that are very passionate and the ones that are very lousy and they just don't want to do anything. But honestly, it's just I do support Trump and I do support those immigration laws.
Okay.
I
Can
do
I ask you a
support
question?
the fact, yeah, absolutely.
Why do undocumented immigrants get lower wages on average?
Because, well, there's a couple of scenarios. First, because people that actually can pay will like cheap labor, and people that cannot afford it will like to have something that is more affordable. So economy plays a role in that too.
So the reason why undocumented immigrants get lower wages on average compared to legal immigrants or like natural U.S.-born citizens is because they have less bargaining power, right? You know, they have
I could
significantly
say,
less
yeah,
bargaining power to hold against their employer because they don't have permanent legal
absolutely.
residency or citizenship. They're under a
Hmm.
constant threat of deportation. They don't know what their future holds, and their employer can exploit that to a point. And I mean, bargaining power gives you higher wages. That's why unions exist. They give employees more bargaining power to garner better wages. So, I mean, if you want undocumented immigrants to get paid more, so things are fairer, just give them a pathway to residency or citizenship. Support mass amnesty. Okay. All of a sudden, they won't get paid less on average because they'll have just as much bargaining power as any citizen.
Right. And I totally agree with what you're saying. The thing what I don't agree with, it's me being Hispanic, right? There's more Hispanic people coming over illegally. They are not actually doing it the right way as a lot of people that are doing
Why?
it.
Why?
Uh,
Why? What gives people incentive to use the quote unquote wrong way of undocumented entry?
well, because they will not qualify for the laws. They don't want to follow
That's
rules.
not true.
They do not want to follow rules. What do you
That's
think
not
it
true at all,
is?
for sure. Yeah, it's because the legal means of immigration into America are simply unattainable for many. Are you a first generation immigrant?
No, as a matter of fact, I'm an American citizen. I was born in Eagle Pass, Texas.
Okay. Do you have like anybody in your family who's a first generation immigrant?
Yes.
Okay. What do the legal processes of immigration look like for them?
Well, when they crossed, I can, well, it was in 1910. So I was not back then.
Okay. That's fair. That's
But
fair.
I can tell you that it was even before it was divided into like from Mexico to Texas. It was that part of Mexico, like Coahuila and things like that. So I cannot tell you because I wasn't there, but it was just a matter of either you step on the flag, the Mexican flag, and you become American citizen, or you get deployed and fight for America.
For sure. For
And
sure.
that's
So
that was the way back then to get your citizenship.
so now today the processes of
Mhm.
legal immigration into America take like 6 to 10 years. They're very expensive and the queues are so fucking long. What that means for a lot of people is that those legal means of entry are simply unattainable, okay? And because the legal means of
Yeah.
entry are unattainable, all of a sudden millions of individuals have had significantly more incentive to just enter into the country with the use of undocumented means. But I want to make it clear that's not because they want to. Nobody wants to be an undocumented immigrant, okay? Undocumented immigrants
No,
don't.
it's because of the need.
So, yeah, exactly. Undocumented immigrants don't have access to Social Security, Medicaid, or Medicare, so they're paying taxes for something they'll never benefit from. Undocumented immigrants don't have an SSN, so they can't get a loan from a bank to buy a house. Undocumented immigrants can't get a driver's license, so if they're caught driving, guess what? They go to jail. Undocumented immigrants do not have access to like what citizens have access to, which severely demeans and reduces their quality of life, right? But the reason why they enter in with the use of undocumented means is because illegal means are unattainable and they'll still have a better quality of life compared to where they're coming from. Okay, so why am I saying
Yeah.
this? Why is what I'm saying matter at all? It's because the only person / group of people who are slapping legal migrants that wait in those lines for 6 to 10 years in the face, they're not the undocumented immigrants. Don't blame them for wanting a higher quality of life and then seeing the legal means as simply unattainable. Blame our legislators, blame our government for using those legal means of immigration as a pawn, doing nothing about them, keeping them degraded, keeping them slow, so individuals will continue to see them as unattainable and enter with the use of undocumented means. So then particularly Republicans can run on that as an issue and then do nothing to fix the root cause of the issue, which is the degraded and slow legal means of entry. Okay, and I want you to prove me right by giving me an example of one time Donald Trump is at the bare minimum stood in front of a mic and said he wants to make the legal means of entry into America better.
I remember one time that I was seeing one of his live campaigns. He mentioned that he was just going to try to target, that he was going to target the ones that they were illegal and that they had a bad
Yes.
record.
Exactly.
You know, but the thing is,
Exactly.
and
Look
that's
at
what
that.
I'm trying
He's
to tell
not.
you.
He doesn't talk about the legal immigration at all, even though it is the legal processes of immigration that have been neglected by all of Congress for modern American history that causes that undocumented entry. Right? And he doesn't address
Right.
the legal entry because if it's fixed, if it's made better, if it's made more efficient, all of a sudden there's no incentive for undocumented entry. So people will stop using undocumented forms of entry. The issue will cease to exist, and then he won't have that talking point to run on for himself or his predecessors in the future. Right? And just to prove my point even further, okay, I want to recognize that Democrats are almost just as culpable for this issue as the right. They're just slightly better. But when Biden and Harris tried to push a bipartisan border bill through Congress that would have slightly made it easier to attain legal means of entry by hiring more judges to expedite those processes, Donald Trump shot it down and told all Republicans to vote against it. So he's proactively shot down any attempt to try to make those legal systems of immigration into our country better. So the only person that is serving as a disservice to legal immigrants today is the person you voted for and still support today. And I don't blame you for not
Right.
seeing it. I'm not going to lie. I don't. It took me a while to come to this
There's
revelation
a
myself.
no, there's a lot of things that once I voted for Trump, you know, like I do support Trump. Yes, I do. However, the ways that he's delegating the situation or the other people is actually handling those situations, that's what I don't agree with. His ideas, his ways of thinking of making it better, protecting resources for American citizens, the national security, public safety, all that, I agree with it. However, the process, the way things are being done, I don't agree with that. Now, for the people in the comments that are telling me that my English is not good, no, my English is not good. I speak Spanish. Now, the
I've,
second
I've,
thing
I
that
haven't
I
heard.
see,
One second, I'd like to butt in. I don't think I've seen anybody say that, but if they have,
yeah,
obviously I
they
can.
have, and
Obviously,
they've been bashing
obviously,
me a
I'd
lot
condemn that. Yeah, for everybody in the comment section saying that, I'm guessing that the only people saying
because
that are
I'm being
individuals.
respectful.
Yeah. I want to clarify that the only individuals that would be saying that in the comment section are people that only speak English. So if there is people in the comment section saying that, please try to speak Spanish. Let's see how good your Spanish is, right? But anyways, take it away.
Thank you for saying about that. So the thing is that, like I said, in the other one was saying that they're gonna come over and deport me. I'm an American citizen. I was born here. I'm a proud wife of a veteran that got deployed 3 times. You know, it's just and things are hard. Things are hard for being Trump supporter because people think that because we support Trump, we are racist because we do not believe in respect or because we're not fair to other people. That's not true. And I do feel bad for the way Moon and the other lady was talking about Montana because that's not the way we should approach and about being discriminating other people or talking about African Americans or talking just saying that they're black. First of all, they're not black. First of all, they're just their skin color is brown. We are brown. You know what I mean? Like that's not if we talk about skin colors, that's not even right. If we talk and discriminate people, I didn't like at all what she was talking because we're all humans whether we are red or blue, it doesn't matter. We're humans, and she should have not said something like that at all.
Okay, I'd like to clarify. I don't think supporting Trump automatically makes you racist. However, I do think supporting
No.
Trump automatically makes you okay with racism.
Well, they fall under that umbrella because they want to, but like I said, she was not supposed to say something like that because just because they're doing deportations or because he is, I don't know, because they believe that they can do that and they're entitled to talk in a racist way. I don't think that's right because we should not have the right to speak to others and make them belittle or just make them
So,
less.
so
Just,
I think
yeah.
that's good virtue. The reason why I say that supporting Trump makes you okay with racism is because Donald Trump's a racist, and you're okay with him.
I'm not okay with being racist at all.
Okay. So then
Like I
you,
said, I mean,
if
I
you
do
weren't okay
support
with being
Trump.
racist, like think about it. Think about it. You know, my grandma has a best friend. Okay, I don't want to share her name. So she's a legal immigrant,
Yeah,
and she's been hate crimed 3 times since Donald Trump's presidency started. Particularly picking up her grandson from school. She's had teenagers walk up there and say that this isn't your country. You're not supposed to be here. Go back to Mexico. Okay. The only reason why that has happened to her is because, well, Donald Trump has gotten on mic and basically said anybody that's not white, anybody that doesn't speak English as their first language, they're illegal. All right. That's what he did to legal immigrants in Springfield, Ohio. Oh, guess what? They're Haitian. Must mean they're not supposed to be here. Must mean they're illegal. No, they were legal refugees. Okay.
Yeah.
Or what about his attack on undocumented immigrants, right? Stereotyping them as the worst among us, calling them gang members, calling them P3dos, calling them rapists, saying that they're going to eat cats and dogs. Okay. And think about the bleed over that happens in the eyes of a lot of individuals. So they're not just disparaging undocumented immigrants, which is wrong on its own, but also disparaging legal migrants just because they're Hispanic, just because English isn't their first
Yeah.
language, or just because they're families from Latin America. You know what I mean? That is the
Yeah,
one of the
absolutely.
many racist effects that we've seen consequential of his presidency. And like honestly, I'd almost be willing to hedge a bet that you have either personally experienced this or somebody that you know has personally experienced this.
Yes, I have. Like even myself, just for being Hispanic, and for English not being my first language. But again, it doesn't matter if I was born on this side of the country, like on this side of the country. But the thing is, they stereotype you. That's a stigma, and not because, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're blue, if you're red.
But that's what Donald Trump is
Racism
perpetuating.
shouldn't happen.
But I want to clarify.
Yeah.
Donald Trump is responsible for a lot of that.
Yes, the people that, like I said, I voted for him. Yes, I supported Trump. Yes, his ideas. Yes, but the way things are coming down, I don't like that. I don't like that, and it's too late to just to retreat that vote.
Well, it's not
But the
too late
thing
to
is,
stop supporting him and vote better in the midterms in the next presidential election.
that's what I'm gonna do. But
Oh,
as of right now, with your question, the why do you support Trump? That's the reason I supported Trump.
okay.
But the way things are being handled, that's what I don't agree with because everybody deserves respect in a lot of ways.
Well, hey,
That's
listen,
it.
I appreciate you for coming up, and I hope that you have a good rest of your day. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you too.
Of course. We're going to move on to the next guest. Everyone, just give us a minute, y'all. We probably have another, like, I don't know, like 25, 30 minutes on live. Yo, Jin, thank you so much for the $17 over on PayPal. Let's get 170 WJins. Jin says they are all on Montana's live right now. They are all complaining about how you read from a teleprompter and AI. It's so obvious that you are reading. I told them about the blanket and got blocked. Yo, yeah, bro. Yo, don't tell them about the blanket of wisdom, the blanket of truth. Keep in mind that yes, this actually does have an LCD Chat GPT AI monitor inside. But what's going on, Mr. Hatcher? Do you support Trump? Okay, it looks like Mr. Hatcher isn't here, so we are going to move on to the next guest, Matt, as well as Nyla. Thank you for the $10 over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Nyla. That is NYLA. Thank you so much. Matt, what's going on? Do you support Trump?
Hello, how are you?
What?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Are you from Britain? You British?
No, I'm from South Africa.
Oh, sorry.
And so
are you okay? What time
okay,
is it?
so what I'm trying to say is, no, it's what time it is now? It's 8:50 p.m. at night.
Ah, okay. Well, hey,
So-
Matt, I appreciate you for coming up, and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but we are only talking to individuals that are from America and support Trump. Let's go to move on to the next guest, everyone. Let's go and get that next guest out of the box. Make sure if you're in that queue, that does indeed mean that you do indeed support Trump. And if you'd like to support me, support this stream, you can find my Venmo, my PayPal, and the link tree in my bio. What's going on at Air Force? Do you support Trump? Hello? Air Force. Hi, you're on the
Hello?
stream. Hi.
Hi, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that I accepted. I've never done this before. No, I don't. I do not support Trump. But I'm sorry if I, or either the name of my channel is military, so people assume that military and veterans are supporting Trump, which is far from the truth.
Hey, well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for your service, not just while you were in the Air Force, if you're a veteran today, but also the service that you proactively do every single day by opposing the current fascist regime. I hope that you have a good rest of your day, but we are just looking to debate people that support Trump. Let's see here. Tree, thank you for the $10. Oh, actually, they requested. Yo, Tree requested my $10 back because I donated because I caught strays when you bagged on Zach Bryan. Bro, Zach Bryan's a piece of shit. He's just objectively a piece of shit. Erica, thank you for the $10 over on Venmo. I appreciate you so much for the love, Erica. And Ken, oh my God, Ken, thank you so much for the $100 on Venmo. They said, I'm comping a dinner tonight. Dean and your girlfriend have a wonderful time. Ken, that's so incredibly kind of you. Yeah, I am taking my girlfriend out to dinner tonight. That's the very first thing that I'm doing once we land in the town where my dad is from. That's so incredibly kind of you, Ken. You just comped the goddamn dinner. Thank you, Ken. Let's get 1,000 kid W's down below. Thank you so much. Oh my God, that's so kind. That's very kind of you, Ken. Thank you so much. W's for Ken down below in that chat. W's for Ken down below in that chat. Seriously. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Silius, thank you for the $20 over on Venmo. Thank you for the love, Silius. Shout out to Silius. Also, yeah, Zach Bryan is totally a piece of shit. I will say, like, his music is like great. I don't think you could deny that. But the person that makes music is terrible. And it's funny because like after he got exposed for being a total piece of shit, he just turned around and dropped a song that sounded good. So like more people would be like, oh, I actually still like him because his music is good. I can't get behind that. Bad artist, but great art. Not gonna lie. I feel like if anybody denies that, they're being delusional. But if you deny that he's a terrible person, you're also being delusional. We're gonna move on to the next guest. It's gonna get Wi-Fi up on the stream. Short Shift, thank you so much for the $10 over on PayPal. I really do appreciate you so much for the love. All right, where's that next guest at, everybody? Let's see. We got Marco loading into the box. Guys, go ahead and drop a maggot down below in that comment section if you would like to come up and debate. We are probably only going to be live for around another 20 minutes, y'all. I know it's a short live today. I know. But I got places to be. Okay. Let's go get that next guest up on the live. Where are they at? Where is that next guest at? Another short shift? Yeah, we're not going to be live for long today. Not at all. And I'm gonna be live tomorrow. Yeah, just like pretty late at night. What's going on, King Ron? King Ron? Do you support Trump?
Where do you get your shirts at?
Oh, my girlfriend's closet. This is my girlfriend's. Anything else?
No.
Okay. Okay, have a good one. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next guest, Andre. Let's go see what that next guest has to say, everyone. Just give us a minute. Oh, God. Yeah, my girlfriend is drip. Not gonna, dude, oh my God, she's such good style, man. I find myself wearing her clothes a lot. I do. I really do. Let's go to move on to the next guest. Oh, I just already know a Trump supporter is going to come up here today. Yep. You're wearing a woman's clothes. That's a woman's shirt. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, come on. Give it to me. Go ahead and let me know down below if you want to come up. Let me know. Let's go to get the next guest up on the live. Everyone just got to give us a minute. It is really hard for us to find a single Trump supporter. Holy shit. The Trump supporters are thinning out. Hello, Emma. You were spamming MAGA down below in that comment section. How old are you? They're not even here. Moving on to the next guest, everyone. Wow. They're all scared? Yeah, this is kind of getting annoying. What's up?
Okay.
How old are you?
Hello. So, I have a question.
Yeah, for sure. How old are you?
And I came up here to learn something, really.
Okay, how old are you?
So, I am 23.
Yeah, are you MAGA?
I actually am not, so I apologize for that. But I do support one of the policies, which is mainly the border policy. So I'm under the impression that under left policies, it was a lot easier for illegal immigrants to get into the country. And so essentially, they wanted to put in a lot more gun control and open up borders. And I believe that that is dangerous because of gangs like MS-13 and the drug cartel.
Okay. Do you know that
So-
Donald Trump has opened the border to family members of gangs like MS-13? He even gave them a legal status.
I did not know that.
Yeah, and gun control, the only administration in the last 8 years that has passed gun control was Trump's first term. I appreciate you so much for coming up, but because you're not MAGA, we are going to move on. What's up, Barbara? How old are you?
I'm 47.
Hi, Barbara. Well, welcome in. How are you doing
Hi.
today? How's your Sunday, Barbara? Let's take a minute. How's your Sunday?
My son is perfect.
Oh, now I'm not. What year are you born in? God damn it, you were really selling me. You had a little bit of like vocal rasp when you said that you were 47.
I love you.
It sounded spot on. You did that well. When you said that you were 47, you sold it. You sold it very well. You sold it very well. Moving on, everybody. If this is like the track of the live, we may just end soon just because we can't find any Trump supporters, but we'll see. Give us a minute though, you guys. Give us a minute. And we're gonna have a very special live to raid. Everyone be patient. We got Blake. We got Blake loading up in. Okay, yeah, we'll probably try like a couple more guests. And we might even spend some time today over on Covey's live. And if I'm not personally spending time there, we're definitely going to shoot at a raid. But we'll talk about that at the end because there's a couple things that I want to go over with you guys before you go over there. Like seriously, like I want to have a chat with you guys before y'all go over. What is going on, Ryan? How old are you?
Dean, I'm 31. Hey, listen, man, I was just over on Montana's live. They think that you have like an AI voice feeded into your headphones, bro. It's so funny. It's so funny, dude. I'm like, listen, what would that even possibly gain for you? What would that possibly gain? And also, why don't you guys try it out? It might freaking help you during a debate.
Right. You know what? I really appreciate you for requesting enough to tell me that. I hope you have a great rest of your
Dude,
Sunday.
you too, man.
Have a good one. Oh, man, that's great. The cope is real. I think the best comparison that I have here is like, imagine that there's a natural bodybuilder who's never done steroids a day in his life. And people are just so like, they're coping so hard that their response is to say, oh, he's like on all the steroids in the world. But nobody knows because they don't show up on tests. Like, that's the equivalent. It's actually a big compliment. And I appreciate that from them. They're very kind people. Thank you for, I appreciate them for the compliment. What is going on, Cloudy? Do you support Trump? They're not even here. All right, we're going to try with like one more person. Yo, be honest. Do we just not have any Trump supporters in here? Maybe we just don't have Trump supporters. Holy fuck. What's up, Greta? Do you support Trump? Nah, they don't. Holy fuck, dude. Go to Montana's page? Nah, bro, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I had her up. That's probably the last time I'll interact with her. Come on, they're like terrible. They're like really bad, bro. I'm not gonna lie. They're like really fucking bad. Okay, what do you guys want to do? Honestly, we're obviously not going to get any debates. I'm looking at the queue. It's pretty thin. Doesn't look like we have any Trump supporters in here. This is just a room of 5.6 thousand liberals, which is pretty cool, I guess. What's up, Uncle? Do you support Trump?
Yes. Am I racist?
Are you racist? I don't know enough about you yet to make that determination, but I do know that you're okay with racism. Why? Why do you ask?
So how am I racist when the only people got paid on the Unfuck America tour was white?
Well, I did just tell you that I don't know if you're racist. I don't know enough about you yet to make that determination. However, I do know enough about you to determine that you're okay with racism, and I'm not sure how this relates to the Unfuck America tour.
How am I racist? Can you explain?
What
How
the
do
hell?
you think I support? How do you think I support racism?
Can you like quote my response? I gave it to you twice. Could you quote it? Could
No,
you
so
quote?
how do I support racism?
How are you okay with racism? Is that what you mean to say?
No, I'm not. How so? Why are you
So,
making? Go ahead.
so I said that I think you're okay with racism, definitely, because you support Trump.
So how oh, okay. How is he racist in today's time?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's always been racist, incredibly
Well, I'm
racist.
just saying it in today's time.
Don't worry, I'm making an argument for that. Don't interrupt me. I'd really appreciate that. I think that he's always been racist, incredibly racist, in fact, starting in the 70s until today. And I think that we could consider everything racist that he's ever done, as he's never apologized or held himself accountable for anything racist that he's ever done. But we could kind of work front to back. I think that his economic policy perpetuates racism, as it is the case that it disproportionately disenfranchises black communities in America compared to like white individuals. It is also the case, I think he's racist because he wants to personally ethnically cleanse 1.2 million Palestinians off the Gaza Strip. I think that he's racist because he told Fox News that he can racially profile immigrants to tell if they're good or bad. I think that he's racist because he perpetuated the birther myth of Barack Obama. I think that he's racist because he called for the death penalty for the Central Park Five after they were exonerated. I think that he's racist because he called all black people lazy. I think that he's a racist because he only said that he liked shortmen and yarmulkes to count his money. I think that he's racist because he denied housing applications to black individuals in the 70s, and so on and so
So
forth.
did the Central Park did that article in the Central Park Five mention them five boys?
That's who the Central Park Five is.
No, I'm saying did he in that article that he put out did he mention them five guys?
Yeah.
Did he mention their names?
I don't know if he mentioned them by name, but he mentioned them by Central Park Five.
You probably have not read the article then.
I mean, you just said yourself that the article was about them.
No, I'm just saying that he mentioned them five guys in the article.
Yeah, the Central Park Five.
Okay. I didn't see no names in the article. That's what I read.
I don't think he needs to call them by name to mention them. I'm not calling them by name, but I'm still
Do you know
mentioning
the
them.
crime at the time in New York and the mass murders at the time?
No. Oh, but I do know that they were
It was at
exonerated.
the all-time high. Everybody was basically
Okay. Yeah, I know that they were exonerated, and he called for their death after their exoneration and refused to apologize for the article as well. So, how do you feel about him like saying that Obama was born in Kenya?
I don't know. Obama's on video saying he was born in Kenya, so
Okay, could you show me the video?
I mean I ain't got a second device. I
Okay,
can
so
show
I
you.
mean, I don't think that this video exists.
I mean, I love to play. I mean, if TikTok allow you to sit here and play videos while you had a green screen, that would be nice. If TikTok
I mean, you
do
could
an
tell me where
update
to
on.
find the video, right? Find the video online, maybe? I don't know.
I'll have to go look. I seen it a long time ago.
Ah, okay. I doubt that you'll be able to find it for us because he only has a birth certificate from Hawaii.
No, okay. Is his name Barry?
Is his name Barry? I don't know his full name. I'm pretty sure Barry's a
It's
nickname.
It's Barry.
Okay, I'm unaware of what his full name is.
Okay.
Well, I like to think that his name is President Obama.
President Obama.
Yeah, but
Okay.
do you have anything that's gonna like stimulate my brain a little bit more? Do you have a point? Why is Trump doing a
I
good
don't
job?
think you got a brain.
Yeah, because you probably don't believe in things that you can't see.
So what do I not believe in?
Yeah, I mean, you probably like base your perceptions and your beliefs off of your perceptions. You probably think the Earth is flat because you can't see its curve. Just like you probably don't think I have a brain because you can't see it. You know, caveman
The Earth
logic.
is round. So quit making accusations on somebody that you don't know.
I mean, you just accused me of not having a brain.
Well,
So do you want to
saying
tell
I
us why you support Trump?
why I support Trump?
Yeah, let's hear it.
There's a lot of reasons why I support Trump.
So it should be pretty easy to name one.
Uh, he wants to put us first. It's time to put us first for once because I'm tired of being a piggy bank to the world that, we got our own problems here that we need to fix.
Okay. So is he putting us first by stagnating GDP growth, stagnating investment into American manufacturing? Are those things putting America first?
Is there anything wrong with that?
Is there? Yeah, there is something wrong with stagnating GDP growth and investment in manufacturing. Slows the rate at which new jobs are offered.
Okay. Has there been job losses since he's took office?
Any job losses? I don't know if there's job losses in Q1. I'm unaware.
Because the thing, unemployment rate's been basically the same since December.
Very interesting. That doesn't change what I said to be true. He's stagnated investment in American manufacturing.
Okay. Where did you get your source at?
The Federal Reserve Bank of St. Louis, which pulls their data from the U.S. Bureau of Economic Data.
Okay.
Are you? Do you have a point?
Do I have a point?
Yeah. Do you have like an argument or anything? I don't. I just don't feel really stimulated by this conversation.
Somebody just said Doge cuts that equals job losses. Okay.
Are you gonna give me?
No,
an
I'm just
argument?
saying somebody mentioned that in the comments. So
Can I have an argument, bud?
well, all your bots in here mentioned me in the comments. So
Okay, I just want to clarify. There were people, but even if they were literal bots, they'd still be smarter than you.
okay, that's all you have is that watches bots.
I get it. Cope. Keep it up.
Are you mad?
No, I'm just calling. Yeah,
Why,
I think that
why are
you're
you
mad.
mad? Why are you mad?
I'm not mad. I think that you're mad.
What are you reading right now?
I'm actually just looking at myself. In fact, I'll even show you. Look at this. Look at the phone. So this is a monitor in front of me. On the left, you'll see myself, and on the right, you'll see myself. So I was looking at myself. Are you coping like that last panel, saying that like I have AI and ChatGPT? Is that what you're doing?
I don't know. There's people that openly admitted on here they use ChatGPT or Grok or anything like that.
Yeah. Guess what? I don't have to use AI to beat you in a debate.
You think I can control what they say?
No, but you could control what you say. Matt, thank you for the $5 over on Venmo saying 900 jobs lost from Stellantis due to tariffs. I did see that. That is true. Thank you for the love, Matt. Shout out to Matt for the $5, as well as Edward. Thank you for the $5 as well. And Michelle, thank you for the $10. Thank you for being the best AI debater. I guess it can't get better than me, as well as Short with the $10 saying keeping the grift good, grift. Yeah, we're grifting hard today. And then Ryan with the $20 over on PayPal saying keep killing it, man. I appreciate you so much for the love, Ryan. So do you have an argument for me?
I love all your sleazebag commenters in here.
Dude, they piss you off. Hey, by the way, the more
No,
you,
I'm just saying that.
the more you
I'm
shit on
just
the,
saying you're cutting.
I'm just gonna be honest, man. The more you shit on the chat, the more they're gonna shit on you. I feel like no inclination to defend them against what you just called
They
them
obviously need to
because
get a life.
you're doing something really bad right now. Do you think it's a good idea? Like,
Do you think I care about what they do?
well, I mean, yeah, because you've now redirected the conversation without any preface to them three times. Yes, you obviously care what they're doing and what they're saying, or you want to be talking about them unprompted so goddamn much.
What are they going to do?
Well, obviously,
I
what
can
they're
gladly
already
tell-
doing is pissing you off, so why do they need to do more?
I'll gladly tell you they will not step on my front doorsteps.
Yeah, I don't think they need to step on your front doorstep to piss you off, and that's obvious.
Because they won't never get near it.
Yeah, because probably everybody in the chat probably already has a restraining order filed against you. At least, I won't say that.
Like
It's
that
taking it
about that
too
girl
far.
you did? Oh.
Like a girl I dated? I've never dated a woman that went on to file a restraining order against me.
Yeah, I heard.
You heard?
She was on here. Yeah.
So I have dated a woman that's filed a restraining order against me?
That's what I've heard a couple months ago on here. I don't know how true it was. She was on live talking about you.
Okay, who?
One of your lunatics.
Well, now
You
you're
had-
calling her a lunatic, but I don't even know who
No, I'm
her
just
is.
saying she acted loony, so I don't know if she was telling the truth.
Who is she?
I don't know. I can't remember her name. It was 6 months ago.
Great. This is an awesome conversation. Do you have any more substance to go over of like debating about why you support Trump?
So how is people racist that support Trump?
This was the first question you asked when you joined the live, right?
No, I'm just saying how are people that support Trump are racist
Okay, I responded to that question.
without knowing them?
I responded to that question 3 times. Do you
No,
remember?
without mentioning Trump. I'm saying that without mentioning Trump, how are people racist?
Okay, well,
That support.
you got to mention Trump because you specifically said Trump
No, I'm
supporters.
no. I'm saying how are people racist that support Trump?
So imagine you ask me, how are people that wear blue shoes racist? And answer without mentioning blue shoes.
Do I think you're racist? No.
So I mean, I'll
I've never.
answer it for a 4th time.
So that
I don't think supporting Trump automatically makes you racist, but I do think that supporting Trump automatically makes you okay with racism.
Oh, okay. How's that?
In fact, I already answered that question too. We're kind of doing a loop right now.
No.
Anything else that you want to go over?
No, I'm good.
Okay,
We'll talk.
buddy.
We'll talk with you later with all your bots.
Real quick before you leave, do you know how expensive bots are? Like, let me get this straight. I have 1.1 million followers on Instagram. I average over 100,000 likes and 1.5 million views per post. On TikTok, I have 3.2 million followers on my main, $400,000 on one of my 400,000 followers on one of my backups, 300,000 followers on this backup, 250,000 followers on another one, 200,000 followers on another one. On my main account, whenever I post, I don't know, I get a couple million views, couple 100,000 likes. On my second most recent, I have nearly 2 million likes. Not to mention the comments, the views, the engagements, the saves, the shares on all of these posts. Like, it would probably cost me like over $7,000 a day just to keep up the levels of engagement that I have right now. Do you think I have that money to spend like a couple $1,000s every single day on the level of engagement in which I receive across all of my socials? Oh, and that's for getting the 207,000 subscribers on YouTube, over 5 million views a month, and then the 450,000 followers on Twitter. So it's probably closer to like $10,000 to $15,000 per day that I'd have to spend on bots in order for all of my engagement to be what it is, given that it was fake.
Do you need a cookie or something for that? I don't care.
No, I just need a refutation.
Okay. That's not. I don't care for the views or nothing like that.
Well, the relevance of me mentioning all my views, followers, comments, shares, etc. across all of my platforms was
I
just to
don't
merely
care.
point out.
Do you think? Do you think I care?
Yeah, you do, because you said that they're all bots. But the point of me mentioning
And you
all
can
those
obviously
figures.
tell they're bots with their low following. They're kids.
1 second. You're saying if somebody has low following, they're fake?
Yeah, I just seen somebody mention me in a comment that had 15 followers.
Okay. I'm just gonna invite some of the people with like 15 followers in the chat. I'm just gonna invite some of them.
You gonna invite some of them?
Oh,
Okay.
here's Nikki. Nikki, I have no clue who Nikki is. Nikki has 12 followers and a no profile picture. Nikki, are you a bot?
I am not a bot. I'm a Canadian and a big fan of yours.
Nikki, I love you. Thank you so much for accepting my request to join, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank you.
Of course. Yeah, 12 followers, no bio, no profile picture.
She just got 16 more followers. Proud of her.
Well deserved.
Yeah.
I guess all the bots. Wait, do you think it, like bots donate to me too? Like Edward, like for instance, Jenny just donated me $10 in PayPal. Like, do you think that like Jenny's a bot? Or like Brianna sent me 3.
I really don't care
Brianna a
about
bot?
your donations. You
Well, I'm
do
just
what you
asking,
want.
are they bots?
I don't know.
Like Matt and Silius both just sent me 5 on
The
Venmo.
ones
They're
that are
bots too.
spamming mag, I can tell you the ones that are spamming MAGA most likely are. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we could agree. The people spamming MAGA in my chat are indeed bots. Do you want to know who the people spamming MAGA are?
Who are you? I don't know.
Trump
Tell me.
supporters, because I specifically request Trump supporters to spam MAGA in the chat so I could invite them to come up onto the stream and debate. So I agree with you. They are bots. You know, I'm actually going to go ahead and invite the people spamming MAGA now.
Go ahead and see what they say. I'll sit back and be quiet and let them talk.
I'm gonna kick you. Goodbye. All right, for everybody hanging out in the stream with us, I am gonna go ahead and end the stream now. It has been a fun day, but I am going to now go hit a 3-hour drive up into the mountains and hang out with my father and my stepmom and my girlfriend For the next 24 hours, I'm not going to touch social media. For the next 24 hours, I'm not going to touch TikTok. I'm not going to touch anything. For the next 24 hours, the only thing I'm going to be touching is my favorite downloaded Spotify playlist while I'm driving. And guys, this is gonna be great. I actually just got the notification on my phone before I started the live. Last week, I averaged 12 hours of screen time per day. 12 hours. 12. I need to disconnect because that is terrible. That is harmful. That is really bad. That is terrible. Alyssa, thank you for the $10 over on YouTube Super Chat. Same thing with you, William. Thank you for the 10 as well. And as well as Brianna, thank you so much for the $15 over on PayPal. Thank you for the love, Brianna. You guys are awesome. But okay, here's the deal. I'm going to send everybody on a very important raid. In fact, I think that this would be a really good education opportunity for a lot of y'all. So right now, my friend Athena is hosting a live where they have Saron up on the stream, and she personally lived through and experienced the Libyan slave trade. But I want to put this out there, y'all. Before y'all go over there, when you're in their live, please be kind, please be respectful, please listen. I just want everybody to know before I send this raid that that is a very serious, heavy topic, and to just please treat it as a serious, heavy topic before you go over. All right, that's all that I ask of you guys, is that if you do end up going over to this live where they're hosting an interview and a conversation with Saron, who has personally experienced the Libyan slave trade in her life, she was enslaved. Just please be respectful. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and pin her in that chat so you guys can go and find her. So if somebody wants to comment it again, feel free. I think that Effie, you had recommented it. Pin the it's at Kim Possible 3. There it is. Okay, there it is. So everybody, please go send a raid over to Athena. She's doing the Lord's work. I mean, I think that this live is so valuable. But once again, I need to preface: be respectful. Even though it's a TikTok live stream, it is very serious. They're interviewing and having a conversation with somebody that was personally enslaved. All right. Give that space the respect and the seriousness that it deserves. And if you don't think you could do that, I just don't go. You know what I mean? But please, show them some love. The @ is pinned. If you're on YouTube and you'd like to go, this is on TikTok. Go to the TikTok stream to find it at KYMPOSSIB 3_2.0. I'm going to go to end my streams now. I will see y'all later tomorrow evening. Please go be respectful in that space. Recognize that. Very serious space. I'm going to go to an end. Please go show some love. I'll see you all later tomorrow evening. Bye-bye. Oh, I just clicked out on my phone. Bye, guys. For everyone on YouTube, no, I love you. Bye, guys.